on to Meena ma'am and then to Srividya. Okay. So good
Ma'am, we are
evening, everyone. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Here we are on the platform of Metamorphosis for another round of a mega project of 2024 Skillathon Reformation series. What is the actual objective of this series and why is it named as Skillathon? Skillathon is the name given to skill development and employability. India is going to have the largest working age population in the world by 2030. But gainful employment for students from the general stream is a major challenge. Improving the employability of students requires a new vision with a curricular support. The NEP 2020 has advocated for the integration of vocational education programs into mainstream education in all education institutions in a phased manner. NEP 2020 further envisions that vocational courses will be available to students enrolled in all bachelor's degree programs, including the 4-year multidisciplinary bachelor's program. And Skillathon is actually about building up skills along with academics. And why is the focus more over here? Because when the child is out after learning in the class 10th and after 12th, the child is not well equipped with the life skills and other vocational courses which he needs to learn, which is making a learning gap in between. So coming on to this level of Skillathon, here we have a round of multitude of speakers who are going to highlight what are the skills and what needs to be more focused on to equip the next stage educators as well as the students to have a better future for tomorrow. So before I invite the speakers on this panel for turn by turn on their part, I would like the technical team to just show the song of Metamorphosis. Over to you, Lalitji.
अगर कोई कर सकता है तो मैं क्यों नहीं, क्या है उनमें ऐसा जो मुझ में नहीं। अगर कोई कर सकता है तो मैं क्यों नहीं, क्या है उनमें ऐसा जो मुझ में नहीं। झांक ले अपने भीतर खुद से आ पूछ ले, कैसी चाहे जिंदगी खुली आंखों से देख ले। मुट्ठियों को भी सांसों को खींच के, मुट्ठियों को खींच के, सांसों को खींच के, सबसे टकराने को, शिखर पर जाने को मैं तैयार हूँ, मैं तैयार हूँ, मैं तैयार हूँ, मैं तैयार हूँ। मैं तैयार हूँ, मैं तैयार हूँ, मैं तैयार हूँ। मुश्किलें हो कैसी भी मेरे हौसलों से कम है, अंधेरों को चीर देंगे इतना दम है। मुश्किलें हो कैसी भी मेरे हौसलों से कम है, अंधेरों को चीर देंगे इतना दम है। आओ हाथ बढ़ाएं, कुछ करके दिखाना है, सारे बहानों को आज से आग लगाना है। मुट्ठियों को भींच के, सांसों को खींच के, मुट्ठियों को भींच के, सांसों को।
Thank you so much. Lalitji, you can make me the host. And over to the session. Take away now. So, yeah. Technology and education offers opportunities for adaptive learning, tailoring instruction to individual needs, thereby nurturing a diverse range of skills and facilitating inclusive skill development. Before I move on to the session ahead, I have a panel of speakers over here who are going to highlight some wonderful topics, wonderful takeaways from the session. So I would like to invite Meena Shah, Srividya Mohan, Dimple Sahi, Asha Biyar. We have new members, Garima Kavatekar from Pune, Nayed Raza sir. We have Veena Harwani and we have Neena Singh, new member on Metamorphosis. And they are also going to share some of the wonderful work that they are doing in the field of education and being change makers over here. So over to the first speaker of the day. I would like each of you to introduce just few lines, 1 or 2 lines about yourself, and take forward the topic that you're highlighting on. Please see to it that you don't take more than 10 to 12 minutes. Over to Nahid Raja, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I am Nahid Raza. I'm the principal of Acme School of Learning. My school is located in Bilaspur, Rampur, Uttar Pradesh. And I have been associated to metamorphosis for a longer period of time. And it is really a phase, a formative time for me to learn from this platform. My sincere gratitude to my mentor and guide, Sonal ma'am. She has been guiding and giving us very, effective topics. So I feel better because lot much responsibility is there of schools, and after learning and absorbing good things, we can transfer. So topic given to me is goal setting, a very, very crucial and important topic today. So what I feel, no, goal setting means from pleasure to purpose. If we have purpose, life becomes easy because we know our destination, where to go. And if we know our skill, it is better, and that is being tied to time, so we can have proper management of our life. Right, goal setting is about life management, life development, so we justify our life to check and discover our purpose. So I feel that students must be motivated to set their goals. Generally, what is happening? We are setting goals. No, please allow them to set their goals. Let them have autonomy. When they feel autonomous, when they feel independent, when they feel right, taking decisions. Right. So things are very easy because they understand themselves better. Clear. Make goals specific. So we need to create specific goals. How can we make? We need not to tell them that what to do, what not to do. Let them set their goals. Then we can be involved in the process. Yes, a child says that he is to study, for example, he is to study mathematics, right? So we can say, which subject are you studying? The question can be asked. Socrates was asking question time and again. And by what time? What is your time frame? If we are asking this question, so space is created in brain. When space is created, children are very specific, chasing their goal and chasing their their purpose, right? So goals must be converted into small steps should be taken, right? And we need not to rush, we need not to run fast, right? So direction is more important than speed, so we'll keep on working on it. Yes, we need to allow children to create their own plan, create their own routine, right? And yes, we need to facilitate, we have to check which resources are required by children, and those resources should be supplied not in one go. They should create a list, it should be produced, it should be discussed, and unwanted things should be removed and wanted things should be supplied, right? So timeline, I will have to talk about timeline again and again. The more specific we are in terms of time, the better it is. Right? Outlining the steps they will take. Yes, what do you want to achieve? When, how much time will you take in this manner? Right? We need to create a very specific and meticulous plan and help them planning, so that what is to be done in entire year, what is to be done next month, what is to be done this month, what is to be done in week. So we need to have proper planning, and children must have planning for 365 days, right? And they should set proper routine, right? If they have purpose, they've set their goals, they should be allowed to have compensatory time. Grace period should be given. Say children are going to attend marriage, and when they come back, so they can work on the project that they have set themselves for. Right? Yeah, we need to provide proper support. Specifically, we need to appreciate. Right? So appreciation will enrich children. It will enrich their experience. They will believe in themselves. They have faith in themselves. Right? Because faith moves mountain. So, right, in the same manner, we should try to, when one step is complete and accomplished, we should celebrate success. We should not forget to celebrate success, right? So success, we can write a note that you have done very well, right? And before child comes, we can paste on the wall or on the save or on the on the display board and vision board, if you have at home. So it would be very good, right? And yes, persistence is very, very crucial and essential. Let children have perseverance, let them work hard, right? And we should appreciate their efforts, because skill full people could be could not be very successful, but the perseverance and consistency will make children and people winner. They can conquer the world. Yes, we need to see, we need to appreciate resilience, because resilience is very much required today. If children are putting efforts, they are failing, right? So they are not defeated. Failing is not defeat, not trying is defeat. So therefore, my sincere submission to all respected educators and parents is to allow children to have consistency, right? We need not to give lot many suggestions, because suggestions, I generally say, sometimes become command and children are the follower. No, we need to create leaders. So we need to create leadership among children. And yes, we need to be model, because what is happening, we are saying one thing, we are doing other thing. No, right? Say what you think, do what you think. If the integrity is there, if proper alignment is there, nothing is good, nothing bad. If alignment is there and steps are taken to keep in mind goal, so day is not far, children will definitely be setting their goals, achieving their goals, and they must be moving. This is all my sincere gratitude and reverence to Sonal ma'am. Ma'am always gives a very good topic. I'm very happy to be part of this platform Metamorphosis, and my sincere salutation to all participants, because they have been doing very well indeed. Amazing job is being done. So thank you very much indeed. Thank you,
Thank you,
Sonal ma'am.
sir. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful takeaway. Definitely, yes, integrity is a matter for today. We need to follow what we say. It is easy to preach, but difficult to follow, as we all say. So, we all are here walking on the path of integrity. Definitely, our work should speak volumes more than what we say. So thank you so much, sir, for your words of wisdom. And moving on to our next speaker, I would like to go to Meena Shah, ma'am. She will highlight some of wonderful learning, what she's been doing. And over to you, Meena Shah. I'm making you the host, and you can share your PPT, and you can make me the host later on. Okay, here you
Sure.
are, ma'am. Yeah,
Yeah,
over to you.
thank you so much. So, I'm Meena Shah. I've been in education for almost 40 years today, teaching in schools. I've been a curriculum planner. And now I have my own platform, which is called Star Child Education and Learning, where uh, we are helping children to revise and review their work through some fun interactive worksheets. And we also do online classes. So today's topic actually is based on that. Yeah, so the topic is making revision and review fun for children, enhancing the learning. So let me share the screen with you. And yes, thank you, Sonal ma'am, for having me here today.
It's
and
our
for this
pleasure, ma'am.
opportunity. So as I said, so today we talk of enhancing learning and revision through review. As we know, the NEP also tells us that learning should be interesting for children, exciting for children. Because if it is not so, children are not going to learn, not going to learn as in they might not find it interesting enough, and therefore they will not learn. So today I would like to talk about revision and review. I'm sure as educators, we all know about this. We all know that it is very important, right? However, even then, we still need to, understand why it is important. So firstly, of course, it reinforces our knowledge. Yeah, so whenever a child learns, we know that the knowledge is reinforced. It enhances retention, which is so very important to have successful learners. If we want successful learners, we know that we need to, enhance their retention. They must remember what they have learned. And lastly, of course, to deepen their understanding. It is only when we review and we revise constantly, we understand what we don't know. And when we understand what we don't know, then we are able to help the child to know the concept well. We maybe explain it to them, or help them to read and learn it better. So whatever the way is, we need to help them to deepen their understanding. So let me first take you to the forgetting curve. We all know about the learning curve. However, how many of us know about the forgetting curve? So if the forgetting curve actually tells us how quickly we tend to forget. So remember a time when you made a new recipe in the kitchen. You tried it out. It turned out beautifully. A month later, your husband says, or you say, okay, let's make it again. But do you remember it? Do you remember all the steps? No, you don't. And you still have to refer back to it. Why? Because as you can see from this, we have the retention on your y-axis, and on the x-axis, we have the time. And we see here that immediately 100% of what we have learned is remembered. After 20 minutes, only 60% is remembered. After an hour, your retention has dropped to just 45%. And as time goes by, we forget more and more. As a matter of fact, after a month, we remember only 20% of what we learned. So this is, of course, something which is, common to all of us. And for children, definitely so, because they're involved in so many things. They play and they're learning. And they tend to forget very, very fast. So now that we know about the forgetting curve, how can we overcome this forgetting? How can we overcome this forgetting? And there comes the point of review and revision, that it is very important for us to constantly revise with the children. Now we also look at another part, which is the working of the brain. So our brain, and learning is so very, very connected. The brain creates neural pathways. And these are like highways in the brain. They're connecting different regions and facilitating the flow of information, right? So as we learn more new topics or more and more, the brain creates pathways in our brain. However, these pathways are not made in stone, right? So what happens now? After some time, we tend to forget. However, if we review and revise constantly, then we find that these pathways are becoming stronger and stronger. And that is what we need to make, so that we have successful learners. We as teachers very much believe that our children should always remember what we taught them, don't we? So if we want that, how can we do this? We can only do this if we will, revise and review all the time. Now, I know also, I'm aware that in schools today, we have a wide portion and very little time. So as teachers who are under so much stress and pressure, we stop revising sometimes. And we just rush into that portion. And we keep on, going forward, never looking back to see, did our child learn or not? Did my students learn or not? Until exam time. And exams come and you're like, oh my God, you don't know this. Your parents are pressurized. Teachers are pressurized. The child is pressurized so much. Is that necessary? Do we need to pressurize ourselves so much? Why not take out a little time every day and revise work? So as a teacher, I believe that when we begin a new topic or before we go on to the topic on the next day, let's take out 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, to review that topic. And let's do it with fun. If we do that, children will definitely learn better. And, it would be so much fun for them too. So either we do this at the end of the term, at the end of the week, or we do it every day just for 5 minutes before beginning the class. I think that's the best thing to do. Okay, 5 minutes and you are done. So how can we do that? So let me share a few games, which you can use for revision. So I've just listed out a few, and let me explain them to you. So these are all low prep games. That means you don't need anything to actually, do these in the classroom. All you need is a list of questions. If you have a list of questions, you can easily play these games, as in the teacher has to be ready to revise. If you are ready, I'm sure we all have a lesson plan. And if we are ready with our lesson plan, and one of them is revision, first 5 minutes, and these are the questions I'm going to ask based on what I taught yesterday or based on what was taught in the full week. If this is done, I assure you, your children, your students will be all A grades. And we will not have to look, towards much pressure, much stress, and teach them in the best way possible. So the first thing I've written there is quizzes. So we can have a 5-minute quiz, a 2-minute quiz in the classroom. So if you are ready with your questions, you can actually divide the classroom into 2 parts, yes, 2 teams, and of course have a team leader and ask questions, whichever, suppose you are doing grammar, you can ask about your verbs or tenses or whatever it may be. And of course, as the teams, start answering, you have a scoreboard, you create a sense of competition amongst them. And yes, the children will thoroughly enjoy this and they will keep on doing this. So you can actually even have a leaderboard. So if you have a leaderboard which is put up on your bulletin board and you keep on, going back to it every day or at the end of every week, and see who you will find that there's so much competition that the children will actually learn and come. They will be ready every day. They'll be ready every day, to just come and attempt that quiz with you. They'll be waiting for it. They'll be so charged up because they know that the team has to win. And why teams? Because it creates a sense of responsibility. Being a part of a team, being a member of a team, they want their team to win. And of course, there's collaboration and a lot of learning happening in this way. So I believe that, creating small teams and, and having quizzes like this and having a lot of fun. And of course, the learning is 100% during that. I think there is no doubt about that. So another fun thing you can do is catch the ball. So I remember doing this. So all you need is a little rubber ball. Okay. And when you begin your class, you say, okay, we are going to play catch the ball. What you have to do is just throw the ball. Whoever catches the ball, ask them to answer your question. It's as simple as that. I'm sure you'll have a rowdy class all waiting, saying, hey, the ball has to come to me. And I'm sure they'll all be ready again with their answers. The third thing I have listed out is Family Feud. So what is Family Feud? Again, we can have 2 teams in the class. One team will ask the questions. The other team will answer. Okay, so there's a battle going on and you will find. So, even, of course, to form questions, one has to be ready, right? So the team has to learn and find out the questions that they can ask. So they also are revising. The ones who are answering are also revising. And then you can, sort of exchange the teams and the questions. So that way, once again, we have, a fun game happening and a lot of review and revision happening. You can also have spin the wheel. So in the spin the wheel, there can be 2 things. I look at it in 2 ways. One is that you put questions here. Okay, in all these, there should be your questions. And when you, so you can call out a child's name, ask them to spin the wheel, and whatever question they get, they have to answer. Alternatively, you can have the children's names put here. And, whoever gets, when they spin and wherever the spinner stops, whoever's name comes up, they have to answer the question. So it can be either way, right? It can be either way. And it's a lot of fun. Again, children look forward to it very greatly. I used this a lot during the pandemic, where I had a e-wheel, of course, and I would spin it. And I mean, they just looked forward to it so much. So in the classroom, you can actually create this wheel and, this can be used throughout the year. So just create a big wheel either with the names, or you can even have just slips which you can put up there, what are they called? The sticky notes. And you can have your questions or names on it. and you can use it year after year, so not much effort is required. And lastly, you can have a team trivia race. So what's that? So what you can have is you can have two teams again lined up, near the board. Okay. And as you ask the questions, whoever answers, of course, it's just a different way of quizzing, nothing else. As you ask the questions, they get their points, they write it themselves, and then they move backwards. And this goes on until everybody has got a turn. Yeah. So in this way, we can make revision a lot of fun for children. So I greatly believe in, the concept of learning with fun. Because if there is no fun in learning, who would want to learn? I'm sure if all of us, who are put back in school or college, we would say, hey, this is so boring. So if we make learning fun, children will definitely want to learn. And they will keep on learning forever. And I think as teachers, as educators, this is what we want, right? So I hope that this has been useful to you, and I hope that will be used in the classroom. So thank you very, very much. And I shall end my session here. So thank you, Sonal ma'am, once again.
Wonderful, Veena ma'am. You can make me the host so that I can pin you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am looking, I'm sorry.
There are 3 blue dots over here on the top of you. Click the dot. There you will be make host, and under my name you can make me the host.
I did know about it, but I have lost it now.
There's a blue color mark on the screen in front of you.
I'm sorry, I cannot see it. Just a moment. Let me just.
Don't panic. Don't worry. We are all equipped with a backup plan. Don't worry. The moment the face आपका जो है ना, वहाँ पे एक दो वो आता है, वहाँ पे 3 डॉट है आपके, 3 डॉट पे आप क्लिक कीजिए. हाँ.
Yeah, but I do not see. I'm so sorry. It says choose video, choose avatar, pin, spotlight for everyone, hide self view.
Make host आ रहा है. Make host.
मीना मैम, आप सिर्फ सोनल मैम के नाम को क्लिक करेंगे और उधर आएगा ऑप्शन मेक होस्ट. सो जस्ट क्लिक ऑन दैट. दैट्स वेरी सिंपल. जी. आप पार्टिसिपेंट्स में जाएं एंड जस्ट क्लिक ऑन सोनल मैम.
Yeah, I got it. I was looking at my own. Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry. Okay.
Yes. Wonderful. Yeah. So we are all learning digital literacy also. Don't worry. Nothing to panic.
No, I'm well aware of it, but I think today I'm doing it after a long time, so I forgot.
Yeah. So moving on for the review of Meena ma'am's wonderful ad pin. Yeah, here you are, ma'am. So yeah, this is actually what is actually needed, where the educators miss out this thing, the revision and the review of what they have taught in the class. Normally, they just finish up the academic and the curriculum and ho gaya, day ka kaam khatam ho gaya, but they forget to check whether every child has learned. So these are the simple ways of creating fun in the classroom, and to check whether the child has picked up the learning in a proper way, whatever has been taught. And definitely educators like you are going out of the way to create such kind of learning zones to help educators कि आप अपने आप को कोशिश कीजिए किस तरह से ये बच्चों का असेसमेंट भी हो सकता है. So thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your knowledge, and definitely sharing is creating more in abundance for everyone. So it's a pleasure to have you over here, and many more. This was just a gist of your work. So we will definitely invite you for a 1-hour session on what it is and what is the work that you are doing to take more takeaways from your work or area of learning. So moving on to thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Meena ma'am. Wonderful to have you. Yeah. So going on to Asha, I would like to invite Asha to take the screen and share your topic, Asha.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am. Yes, good evening, everyone. So my topic is to create love for learning. So yeah, like already 2 of our friends have already shared so many things which are equally important when it comes to love for learning, goal setting, or fun way of learning, all those things. So here I am to give little more glints on what is love for learning. So usually we all know children, they know they lose very soon, they lose the concentration, or that love for learning, they lose that interest very soon. So what is love for learning? It helps children discover and explore topics that they are interested in. Usually we give topic to children and tell them to learn or do something. That is when they lose that interest. And when we give them a chance to explore and discover the topic, that is when they have interest to learn. And that's how we create interest for learning. And like ma'am already she said, we have to create learning with fun. Here we have to make it fun. That's when children will be able to learn. When I tell learn, love for learn, it doesn't mean that picking up some book and reading. No, it is like day to day activity is also involved in that. This is the one of the best way to get children to love learning. Fun way of learning. You have to make it more fun. This teaches is this is the way of teaching them and realizing that learning makes fun. Without even realizing that they are learning, we have to make them involve in the topic and make them learn. That's that is again the creativity of the adult who is friend of the child and making it fun. The children will not be knowing that they are learning, but yet our topic is being delivered and they are learning it. So that's very important. That we need to prepare like fun way of learning, hands on activities. There are so many things that nowadays we are getting. Hands on activities, play based learning, physical, making them stand up and walk around and making them to learn. It you know it makes them enjoy what they are doing it. Just for an example, like recently one of my colleague, she I used to tell story in my class. And yeah, I do a lot of voice modulation and all those things. But small gesture which I didn't knew, and she came, she did a circle time, and the different way of delivering the story. This is just one glimpse that I'm telling. So she started off the story by narrating it, and small things, the story in between said the day comes and night pass. So we usually what we say, the day comes and night pass. But she did that action, telling that made even children to do that action. Day comes, night pass. Day comes, night pass. So small gesture when she was doing, children were enjoying it. Though the story, whatever the story I picked up, it was the same story, but the way I delivered and the way she delivered was completely different. And she made it so fun, and those small gesture. Not necessary that you need to be knowing all those things. It's no small things. And you know when the king has to appreciate the workers, she made everyone to clap or to tap on the you know uh, all those small things made a lot of difference. And children started love for learning build eventually. And at the end of the session, she started asking the question. In between, she started asking the question, rather than giving the you know summing up the entire story. She started asking some questions, and children were able to tell that. So that time I thought, okay, fun way of delivering the story. Few small alteration, that when we do it, the action, or interesting books when we give, rather than giving a lot of wordings and telling them to please read, just give them a picture and tell what you can see in that picture, and tell me, explain me. That is also a way of learning. When we ask them and tell them to explore, or tell them to teach, or tell them to tell what you feel seeing that picture, that is when we don't know, but they are started learning. And that's when that small steps, makes them learn. We feel that what there is no wordings, we pick the book eventually where the book has only the wordings. And the myth what we follow is UKG, children have phonetic wordings, and first standard little complicated, second standard even more complicated. Rather than give them a picture, tell them what you can see. What I see may not, the view may not be the same for you. I may explain in a different way and you may explain in a different way. So when you let children explore, discover, and think, and tell what they see in that picture, that makes more interesting. And not every day giving the same thing. you know uh, you know Periodically we need to keep adding a new material. See, again, I'm not telling only books, it can be anything. If you are a teacher and you want your child to love his material, whatever the material in Montessori you present, he wants to love that. Yes, periodically introducing the new tools, or very interesting tools, or a different tools, also makes children love for learning happens eventually. And only learn, discover will not work. When you offer appraisal, when you praise even the small steps that children, or be it anyone, when they take that, that also, when you start appraising, or praise them in front of everyone, they feel like, okay, I've done something good and I have to do even more better, even more good. So eventually I feel like, okay, what I'm doing is correct. So yeah, I'm that you may not feel, the child may not explain through words, but eventually the child goes, picks up whatever he wants to, and start learning. Or, it may be materials or book, anything. Give them the freedom to choose what they want. That's very important. Yes, you need to have that freedom with limitations, but first give them that freedom to choose what they want to explore, what they want to learn, and what they want to pick it up. Tell them to give the topic, tell them to choose the topic. So when you do all these kind of things, eventually they start that love for learning happens eventually, parallelly it happens, rather than you being like, do this, do that, I will give, rather than doing that. Okay, it shouldn't be I, it should be we. So it should be together, you and me, we'll work together. Okay, you bring the topic, I will tell something, then I will bring the topic, you tell something. Working together makes fun. And eventually children they build the love for learning. And one more very important thing is, giving them time, sit next to them, and teach them what they want. Now they may choose some topic and they may find it very difficult. Just don't leave it off in that stage. Okay, sit next to them and help them, give them minimum help, and let them explore what they want. And give them some appraisal and appreciation and all those things. And eventually boost them for, okay, now you're in this level, maybe go for the next level. Now you have given the picture and told the child to tell something. Next, you give the wordings. Then the child will be very interesting. Rather than giving the wordings and telling them to read what is there. Yes, the pepper, pig, all those things. Rather than doing that thing, I would prefer you give the picture, let them explore, and then you start another step. Give them phonetic reading, and then give them little complicated. So it goes step by step. Even in the materials, when I tell the child, if the child has to have that love for learning, give them which is very interesting. Then okay, they know, okay, this is something interesting, it is not the regular one. And then introduce another little complicated, and then little complicated. After the child, when you know the child is independent and he's doing everything perfect, then you introduce another one. Same thing when eventually the love for learning builds. Rather than telling that, okay, this is my curriculum and this is my you know academic goal, and this I have to do it, and yes, I'm doing it, you have to do it. rather than keeping curriculum goal. Yes, goal should be there, but what I prefer for the age of 2.5 to 5 years, we need to follow the child. That's very important. We need to follow the child, and we have to do a kind of alteration in our goals, and the way we approach and all those things, which is very important. That's when the child starts love for learning. It's very important nowadays. Being a teacher from past 7 years, I can see that eventually the children are losing that interest. They pick one material today, and tomorrow they come and tell, please present me another material. And they tell after, okay, no, you need to repeat. If I tell, they 1 week later they tell, no, it's so boring, I don't want to do this material. Why it is happening? We need to think for that. That because we are dumping everything together, and we are not, creating that curiosity, or that excitement is not there in their daily routine. It's like, okay, come, say, do some prayer, go roll your mat and do whatever you want. Rather than that, maybe we need to get down one step, and, we need to create some curiosity in our classes, and curiosity in your house, so the child have that that curiosity. Okay, even mama, I want to learn today something, please, 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 please. Like ma'am said, so many things, like puzzle, sorry, quiz and all those things. Yes, even you can add all those what ma'am said in your love for learning. You can add that, which also eventually makes them feel better, and they're not put into another like, okay, I don't know anything, my mom doesn't appreciate, or my teacher doesn't appreciate. Okay, she keeps telling me that, no, you're not repeating, you don't know this material, you're not responsible. Rather than putting that, what I prefer is, go down to the child, follow the child, and make it fun. And like how we cook different shapes for our children to eat, heart shape or star shape or so many other shapes. Even love for learning happens in that way only. You need to create a lot of fun elements in their love for learning. That's when children are like boosted up to learn something new. So it's my humble request for all the educators, teachers, and parents especially, that create some curiosity, or create some fun for children in the house or anywhere you go. And that's when they pick it up, and allow them to pick what they want in learning path, and give them that freedom with some limitation. Yes, of course, give them that freedom of what they want to explore. Thank you so much for this wonderful topic. Sonal ma'am, this is something that I wanted to deliver from very long time, and I got this opportunity in the right time. And yeah, thank you so much.
So, Asha, it was wonderful hearing you. So, my 3 questions will be put forward to you, and I hope you'll be able to answer them. Number one is, since you said that you need to develop the love for learning, but as per my experiences, I have seen most of the educators, when they say love for learning, do you think that same passionate love is developed even with the kids with special problems, special children? I don't think so. What is your take on this? Because normally even the teachers want a very smooth environment. They are not ready to take in the effort for the double kind of effort to put in for the children who are not able to pick up the learning faster, like slow learner, dyslexia, ADHD, autism. And they will always take those children in their category जिससे काम जल्दी हो जाए, जिससे काम slow होता है वो उनको ज़्यादा नहीं लेते. What is your take on this?
Again, I would suggest that being a teachers, we need to have some patience and create that curiosity. Be it here, when I tell love for learning, it doesn't mean that the special children or the normal children. Nothing. It is same for everyone, because even the special children have the same old. They have that capability to accept whatever we give. As a teachers, we need to create that. We need to have that passionate towards our work. And if we are passionate and we have that passion to deliver whatever we want for the children, eventually that curiosity or fun way of creating that environment will definitely will build. There are teachers, yes, I won't deny that they'll be like, okay, I want to finish my curriculum. Okay, slow learning will never work. I need to, you know, go fast, do fast. All those things are definitely there, but there are also teachers whom I know where they create that fun way of learning and they dedicate their entire day. If I enter that classroom, yes, I forget everything, and that 5 hours or 7 hours that I spend with my children is only for my children. And it's our whole responsibility when we are, there towards for children. It's our responsibility to create that. So it's a kind request for all the teachers. Forget about the curriculum. If you are there for children, you will definitely able to convince the management that yes, I will definitely follow the child. I cannot complete this curriculum. I know what my child is, what is his capability, and I will go with that, speed, and I will create this environment. As a teachers, we have to raise this voice for our management. Though we are working for the management or the school or whatever it is, it's ultimately it's the child who's going to take something from us. So
Do
what
you
I
think,
believe,
yeah, Aisha, do you think whatever you have spoken on ground level implementation, is this applicable?
yes,
Whatever
ma'am,
we say.
because I have been done that. Like in my school, I went up to my coordinator, and yes, my coordinator was very good enough. And I faced a few challenges in my classroom where I went up and I told, this is what I'm facing. I cannot deliver the entire class. I cannot expect or give you the same result. My 20 children will not be the same. I have to alter. I will alter, and I cannot deliver 1 to 50 for all my children. There are 2 or 3 children who can do only 1 to 20, and I'll definitely make sure that 1 to 20 will be delivered properly and they are doing it properly. I don't want to force my child. I went, I told, and she accepted. That is also
Sometimes,
very
yeah,
important.
sometimes, I think most of us have encountered, even diplomat must have encountered, love and passion को साइड छोड़ना चाहिए कभी कभी, बिकॉज व्हेन यू आर वर्किंग विद अ लाइव मॉडल ब्रेन, लव पैशन ये सब साइड में होता है. यू आर एक्चुअली ट्राइंग टू रीवायर अ प्रॉपर लाइव ब्रेन, और जिससे कभी कभी what you have spoken is applicable, but sometimes some teachers are not able to tackle this situation. Like for example, I get complaints from parents and from other teachers के the child is not sitting in one place. The child, बच्चों को handle करना बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है, बच्चे एक जगह बैठते नहीं हैं. So that is ADHD. When you talk about the ADHD kind of a issue, autism तो फिर भी चलता है, but for ADHD who are not able to sit in one place, what kind of, when you talk about love for learning, तो यहाँ पे love for learning के हिसाब से what tips can you say? Any 1 or 2 tips?
For that, we need special teachers. Like we cannot expect in one classroom. There is one teacher and expect everything to be magical. So what I tell is, management also should provide that facility where these kind of children are taken special care by one teacher so that she can do a complete needful. Again, here what happens when I am a teacher, okay, maybe I have got blessed with good institute and management and all those things, and I'm sure not everyone will be blessed with like that. There are institute where they say, no, you have to do only this, you cannot alter. Ultimately, I want this. So in that situation, what I tell is, we need to have another helping hand where they can take care of that particular child, and we are taking care the rest of the children. So there is equality, there is no partiality, and that one helping hand makes a lot of difference. And that one helping hand should be dedicated for that particular child, and then the justice will be done.
Wonderful. So it was good hearing from you, and 3 takeaways are
Thank
there
you,
from you. Number 1 is that definitely love for learning is most matter. अगर वो अंदर से नहीं होगा तो the children won't be able to pick up learning. Number 2 is when you spoke about the hands-on activities, the movement of the hands. What is that actually called it? Kinesthetic activities. We need to give children more of kinesthetic activities. That is also like jumping, cropping, or movement of hands and body, where children pick up the most of the learning or the social emotional learning also. And the third one that you spoke about is give children choices. Children love to thrive. Children thrive on choices. आप जितना बच्चे को ऑप्शन दोगे, चॉइसेस दोगे, बच्चा उतनी जल्दी ही पिकअप करेगा लर्निंग. सो इट वाज वंडरफुल हियरिंग फ्रॉम यू एंड थैंक यू
Thank
सो मच. And moving on to my next speaker, I would like to invite Garima ma'am to share her about what she is going to share over here. Garima ma'am, please take the stage and introduce about yourself in few words.
Thank you, Sonal ma'am. Hello everyone. I'm Garima Kautekar, founder director of Nisarga Shrishti Welfare Foundation. I'm running my own NGO, as well as I'm a documentary creator, voiceover artist, narrator, scriptwriter. So yes, I'm spreading awareness about women health, noise pollution, and yes, working in many fields like most importantly, I'm creating awareness about noise pollution. My NGO's main focus is on noise pollution. So here today's my topic is noise pollution, how it is affecting our health. And one more thing, through my NGO, I'm spreading awareness and yes, working for Sanskrit and Hindi as well. सो यस, तो आज का जो मेरी जो कन्वर्सेशन रहेगा वो मैं आपको हिंदी में डिलीवर करना चाहूंगी. सो दिस नॉइस पॉल्यूशन, व्हाई वी टुक दिस टॉपिक नॉइस पॉल्यूशन. सो इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट क्योंकि आजकल जो हम लोग हमारे इंडिया में जो देख रहे हैं नॉइस पॉल्यूशन के ऊपर, इतना नॉइस है, लेकिन किसी को पता ही नहीं कि एडवर्स इफेक्ट क्या है उसके हमारे ऊपर. सो जितने भी मेरे सेशन होते हैं, हम लोग जाते हैं स्कूल्स में, कॉलेजेस में, वहां पे हम लोग नॉइज पॉल्यूशन के ऊपर अवेयरनेस क्रिएट करते हैं. मराठी मीडियम हो, चाहे इंग्लिश मीडियम हो, हिंदी मीडियम हो, कहीं पे भी. बिकॉज यहाँ पे मैंने जो चीज महसूस की है इंडिया में, लोगों में पेशेंस नहीं है. दे आर लाइक, उनको नहीं रुकना है, उनको ठहरना नहीं है, उन्हें जस्ट हॉर्न ब्लो करना है. तो ये जो एक आदत बन गई है, इस आदत को सुधारने के लिए हम लोग काम कर रहे हैं थ्रू निसर्ग सृष्टि वेलफेयर फाउंडेशन. तो जब भी मेरे सेशन होते हैं वहां पे हम लोग बच्चों को बताते हैं. जैसे आप लोगों ने इतना अच्छा सेशन दिया, मैं सुन रही थी सभी का लव फॉर लर्निंग, एंड मैम ने भी बताया काफी ग्राफ के थ्रू, हमें पीपीटी के थ्रू बताया. सो यस, निसर्ग सृष्टि वेलफेयर फाउंडेशन की भी यही पहल है, कोशिश है कि हम लोगों को थोड़ा पेशेंस सिखा सके. बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक है क्योंकि पेशेंस आज की दुनिया में किसी के पास नहीं है. और जो चीज ये है कि जब भी हम जाते हैं, ग्रीन सिग्नल हुआ, उसी के दौरान लोग बाग इतने इम्पेशेंट हो जाते हैं कि इसे कंट्रोल करना, वहां पे जो कैओस हो जाता है, आप सभी लोगों ने महसूस किया होगा. आप जब भी ट्रैवल करते हैं, घर से निकलते हैं अच्छे मूड से, और 1 घंटा ट्रैवल करने के बाद में आप जब आपके डेस्टिनेशन पे पहुंचते, ऑफिस में पहुंचते, स्ट्रेस लेवल बढ़ जाता है. एडवर्स इफेक्ट क्या होता है नॉइस पॉल्यूशन का, इसके लिए जागरूकता फैला रहे हैं हम थ्रू आर एनजीओ. सो ये एक ऐसा टॉपिक है जहां पे लोगों को शायद लोग बाग इसके बारे में समझते हैं, कि जानते हैं कि हाँ ठीक है, ये भी एक प्रॉब्लमेटिक एरिया है, लाइक वाटर पॉल्यूशन है और अपना एनवायरनमेंट, एयर पॉल्यूशन है, लेकिन इसके ऊपर काम कोई नहीं करा. सो यस, रिसेंटली वी गॉट पेटेंट फॉर आर इनोवेटिव device. The device, control honk, is invented by my husband, and we got patent for this, and this device will help to reduce noise pollution in India. So yes, back to my topic, noise pollution. आप लोगों से पूछना चाहूंगी, आप लोग भी परेशान तो होते होंगे, डेफिनेटली सब परेशान है आज के इसमें, लेकिन किसी को पता है कि इसमें हम लोगों का क्या इफेक्ट हो रहा है हम लोगों की हेल्थ पे. ये स्ट्रेस तो बहुत ही कॉमन चीज है, हेडेक होना, स्ट्रेस होना, चिड़चिड़े हो जाना, ऑफिस तक पहुंचते पहुंचते चिड़चिड़े हो जाना, ऑफिस से निकलने के बाद घर पर आकर चिड़चिड़े हो जाना, ये बहुत कॉमन चीज है. लेकिन इसके अलावा भी पूरा इंडिया, जो आज बोल सकते हैं कि इंडिया के जितने बच्चे हैं, लोग हैं, कहीं ना कहीं डेफ होते जा रहे हैं, और वो एक इरिवर्सिबल प्रोसेस होती है. लाइक अगर हम WHO के कुछ स्टैटिस्टिक्स पे ध्यान दें तो अबाउट 65 डेसिबल हम लोगों के लिए हार्मफुल होता है. हमारे जो ईयर सेल्स हैं वो डैमेज हो जाते हैं, और उसे रिपेयर करने के लिए 16 आवर्स टाइम लगता है. इट्स अ लॉन्ग टाइम. और फिर वापस से हम 16 आवर्स नहीं, मुझे लगता है हम 12 घंटे के बाद ही वापस से ट्रैफिक में होगा. तो कहीं ना कहीं ये हम सभी को बहरा बनाते जा रहा है. ये इसीलिए हमने ये चूज किया ये टॉपिक नॉइस पॉल्यूशन, कि आज से शुरू करेंगे तो कुछ सालों तक लोगों की आदत बदलने के लिए कम से कम हमें 1 डिकेड लगेगा। तो 10 साल का तो हम सोच के चल रहे हैं, लेकिन होपफुली इंडिया के लोग बड़े अच्छे हैं, उन्हें प्यार से समझाया जाए जिस तरीके से टीचर्स आप लोग अपने स्टूडेंट्स को समझाते हो, इतने प्यार से समझाया जाए तो वो समझ जाएंगे। बिकॉज यहाँ पे अगर उन्हें ये चीज बता दी जाए फन फन के तौर पे, आपने जैसे बताया ना कि बच्चों को पढ़ाते वक्त फन ऐड कर दिया जाए तो समझ जाते हैं। तो उन्हें स्टैटिस्टिक्स के साथ में उसके आने वाले चैलेंजेस के बारे में, उसको एडवर्स इफेक्ट जो हेल्थ पे हो रहा है उसके बारे में हम अवेयर करें, तो कहीं ना कहीं कुछ हद तक, कुछ परसेंटेज, 20% ले लो या 30% ले लो, पॉपुलेशन कम से कम सुधर जाएगी, ये हमारी कोशिश है। तो इसके लिए जितना हम लोगों ने अभी जैसे मैंने वो आपके डिवाइस के बारे में बताया, तो वो डिवाइस एक्चुअली जो अननेसेसरी हॉन्किंग है उसे कंट्रोल करेगी। तो ये अननेसेसरी हॉन्किंग जो हमारे ये यूथ जो जनरेशन है उन्हें तो बड़ा मजा आता है ड्राइव करते वक्त, कहीं ना कहीं वो ऐसे ये कहते हैं ना जो फ्री में मिलता है, इंडिया के लोग वो एक्सप्लॉइट करना शुरू कर देते हैं। तो बस हॉर्न को अननेसेसरी हॉन्किंग करते रहते हैं, एक्सप्लॉइट करते हैं और हॉर्न ब्लो करते रहते हैं। तो उस आदत को बदलने के लिए ये डिवाइस कहीं ना कहीं काम करेगी। तो यही हमारी कोशिश रहती है कि लोगों को थोड़ा सा जागरूक करें, क्योंकि लोगों को पता ही नहीं है कि अच्छा एक बार हम लाउड स्पीकर में पब में जाना पसंद है, लेकिन लोगों को नहीं पता कि पब में गए आपने 100 डेसिबल के ऊपर आपने अपने ईएसएस को इतना अपने आप को अपनी बॉडी के ऊपर अपने त्रास दिया, अपना परेशान किया, उसके बाद में आपके क्या होने वाला है। 100 डेसिबल मतलब ठीक है अभी आप वो सुन रहे हो, लेकिन ये बहुत बहुत ज्यादा हमें हार्म करता है उस पर्टिकुलर टाइम पे ही। तो ये चीज के लिए अवेयरनेस क्रिएट करना, साथ ही साथ प्लांटेशन, ट्री प्लांटेशन, विमेन एम्पावरमेंट के लिए काम करना, ये हम लोगों का विजन और मिशन हम ये लेके चल रहे हैं कि लोगों को बताया जा सके। और हमें जो चैलेंज आता है, जैसे टीचर्स, अभी जितने टीचर्स हैं मैं सुन रही थी सभी को, उनसे पता चला कि आप लोगों का जो चैलेंज है वो एक क्लासरूम के अंदर आप स्ट्रगल करते हो, क्लासरूम के अंदर, लेकिन अगर आप उसको बाहर जाके आप लोगों को बताते हो तो वो एक बड़ा डिफरेंट एक कंडीशन रहती है। पहली बात तो एडल्ट सुनना नहीं चाहते, वो सोचते हैं कि नहीं हमें सब पता है और हम जैसा सुनते देखते आए वही ठीक है। तो उसके लिए हमें चैलेंज आता है कि उन्हें ये कन्विंस करना कि आप जब जैसा आप करोगे वैसे ही बच्चा आपको देख के सीखेगा। और नेक्स्ट जाके हमारी जो जनरेशन है वही इम्पेशेंट जनरेशन, उन्हें बस भागना रहता है, सिग्नल ग्रीन हुआ कि नहीं क्रॉस करना रहता है तुरंत। एंड दिस इज व्हाट एक्चुअली वी आर फेसिंग डिफिकल्टीज। लेकिन इसे हम लोगों ने अपने जो पैशन और हॉबी है उसे एक साथ लेकर आए हैं। सो एज आई सेड अर्लियर दैट आई एम अ डॉक्यूमेंट्री क्रिएटर। सो हम लोग हमारे डॉक्यूमेंट्रीज के थ्रू एजुकेशन मतलब एजुकेशनल वीडियोस बनाते हैं, उनके थ्रू हम थोड़ा सा इसमें अवेयरनेस क्रिएट करते हैं। और डॉक्यूमेंट्रीज और अपना एनजीओ का वर्क, उन दोनों को साथ में लेके चलते हैं ताकि एक अच्छे सा इम्पैक्टफुल जो हमारा मिशन है उसके तरफ बढ़ पाए और एक इम्पैक्टफुल अवेयरनेस क्रिएट कर पाए। सो यस, दिस इज व्हाट वी आर डूइंग। एंड धीरे धीरे ही सही लेकिन समाज में चेंज जरूर आएगा इस विजन के साथ, और नॉइस पॉल्यूशन को कम कर सके इस मिशन के साथ निसर्ग सृष्टि वेलफेयर फाउंडेशन में हम लोग काम करते हैं।
Wonderful, wonderful, Garima. That is the objective of inviting Garima on this session, is to create awareness of noise pollution affecting not only the environment, but definitely as a human being also. The statistics के हिसाब से अगर देखा जाए तो जो problems 60-65 के बाद होती थी, that is of less of hearing, brain not being able to take up the data immediately, more exposure to the screen, digital screen, has created a lot of imbalance in the body. And awareness of this has to be there, because festivals शुरू होते हैं तो पहले ही ये सारी चीजें आ जाती है, loudspeakers and all. Definitely schools should start taking very, very crucial steps in curbing this. When we talk about climate awareness, climate global warming, climate awareness, बहुत सारे ऐसे issues हैं अभी जिसके resources अभी बहुत अभी हमारे लिए कम होते जा रहे हैं. So noise pollution, definitely people are not able to understand its impact, but as a say physiological condition अगर देखा जाए, Parkinson's, schizophrenia और ये सारी चीजें जो है, ये चीजें इसी के ऊपर डिपेंड करती है. जवानी में ऐश कर लो, डांस कर लो, नाच गाने कर लो, फिर जाके 50 इयर्स के 55 के बाद पता चलता है कि कहाँ लैक किया है हमने. So these are the crucial measures we need to take, and we need to create. I think Dimple ma'am is the academic coordinator in the school and college. Definitely, she will take some measures now to create awareness among teachers and how to build up projects around this so that बचपन से early years से ही बच्चों को इसका awareness मिले. As मेटामॉर्फोसिस अर्ली चाइल्डहुड एजुकेशन के ऊपर बहुत ज्यादा फोकस करता है, तो डेफिनेटली गरिमा मैम ने जो बोला है उसको एक मुट्ठी में पकड़िए, और कहते हैं ना, कर लो दुनिया मुट्ठी में. तो स्टार्ट फ्रॉम नॉइस पॉल्यूशन, अपने हाथ में ले लीजिए और अपने हाथ में किस तरह से चेंजेस लाने हैं. We can connect with Garima ma'am if there is anything. Yeah, Nipple ma'am, over to you, please. Yeah.
No, she was talking about noise. So very often, when if the teachers are late and the assembly is about to start and the children are making noise, so I just stand there and I tell them, teacher cannot hear if you shout. So then they look at me, and some of them understand, some of them don't understand. Then I tell them,
that is the first thing, yes.
And this, and then when they see the gesture, they realize, okay, now it's time to,
calm down.
Calm down.
वो हम कहते हैं ना, हाँ, जब व्हाट्सएप में हम कहते हैं स्टे काम स्टे दिस, तो यहाँ पे भी स्टे काम होना बहुत जरूरी है. हाँ, yes,
yeah, students actually they understand, but what about public? Public, they don't want to listen anyone.
Definitely.
Here we are facing challenges, many challenges while taking our session or deliver our session. We are facing a lot of challenges.
I think we have one more NGO founder over here, Sonal Seth ma'am. She is also trying to create awareness on many issues, and definitely Sonal ma'am, noise pollution के ऊपर work कीजिए, awareness कीजिए.
Join Nisarg Shrishti Welfare Foundation, and together we can do some impactful
उन्होंने भी अभी अर्ली चाइल्डहुड के ऊपर फोकस करना शुरू किया है, और शी इज डेफिनेटली रनिंग माइल्स एंड माइल्स अहेड कि किस तरह से क्या क्या इश्यूज की अवेयरनेस क्रिएट करनी है, और वो भी लगी हुई है इस पे. चेंजेस आ रहे हैं, चेंजेस ला रही है एडुकेटर्स एंड चेंज मेकर्स, एंड डेफिनेटली अ न्यू टॉपिक फॉर यू सोनल मैम नाउ, नॉइस पॉल्यूशन को पकड़ना. अभी फेस्टिवल्स आने वाले हैं अगस्त के बाद, तो अभी से अवेयरनेस क्रिएट करना शुरू कर दो.
After joining Metamorphosis, I started working for the special children's also.
Yes.
So I learned many things from Metamorphosis, and then I started with that children also. How to be patient.
What to now? There is a lot to pick up now from each and every one of us. So yes, Saravjit ma'am, you want to say anything?
Yes, Sonal ma'am. Actually, जैसे अभी गरिमा ने बात की नॉइस पॉल्यूशन की एंड हियरिंग इम्पेयरमेंट जो हो जाता है, अभी जो ऑब्जर्वेशन में मेरे पिछले 6-7 साल से आया है, बच्चे जो ईयरफोन यूज करते हैं, एक्सेस हेडफोन ईयरफोन है ना, उसमें वो बच्चे कम डेसिमल पे नहीं सुनते हैं, पूरा वॉल्यूम में. तो वो भी कहीं ना कहीं उन सब चीजों को इम्पैक्ट करता है. उस पे भी अवेयरनेस एक्चुअली होनी चाहिए कि कितना सुनना चाहिए. हम लोग नाप तोल के तो नहीं सुन पाते हैं, बट स्टिल अगर हम बच्चों से ही वो स्टार्ट करेंगे तो मुझे लगता है थोड़ा इजी रहेगा. अर्ली ईयर्स में ही हम स्टार्ट कर दे, ऐसा नहीं मैं बोलूंगी फाउंडेशनल स्टेज.
हाँ, सरजीत जी, वही मेरा यही फोकस है कि वी ऑल आर हियर, वी शुड नॉट रिलाई ऑन करिकुलम दैट इज गिवन टू अस, कि जो करिकुलम मिला है उस पे ही वर्कआउट करना है. नहीं, करिकुलम को रियल लाइफ के क्या चेंजेस है, एनवायरमेंटल चेंजेस है, रियल लाइफ के क्या चैलेंजेस है, आने वाले कुछ सालों में क्या चीजें एक्सटिंक्ट होने वाली है, मुसीबतें पैदा होने वाली है, उस चीजों को कव करने के लिए, नए सॉल्यूशंस ढूंढने के लिए आज बच्चों के सामने मोबाइल है, डिजिटल वर्ल्ड है, कुछ भी नॉलेज दे आर पिकिंग अप. सो उनके ब्रेन में इतनी वो पावर है टू पिक अप एंड इनोवेट ऑल्सो. पर आप अगर उसको जब वो चैलेंज दोगे, जब वो एक प्रोजेक्ट आप देते हो, कोई आप उनको एक ऐसा काम देते हो जिसपे उनको अवेयरनेस किए, आप मानोगे नहीं कि आपको बैठे बैठे ये चीजों के ऊपर वो अपने खुद के इनोवेटिव सोल्यूशन देंगे.
दे हैव सॉल्यूशंस. जैसे आज मैं आज का ही एग्जांपल बताती हूँ. माय डॉटर वाज राइटिंग अ लेटर बिकॉज शी हैज एग्जाम टुमारो इंग्लिश का. तो मैंने बोला वेदिका नहीं, इसको ऐसे नहीं करना है. तो उसने पहले गूगल पे सर्च किया कि नहीं मम्मा आप गलत बोल रहे हो, मैं सही बोल रही हूँ, मेरी बुक में भी यही लिखा है। तो मैंने कहा नहीं नहीं, हमें ही गलत सिखाया गया था, आप सही बोल रहे हो। सो दैट वे दे आर लाइक एक्सपर्ट, जो हमें नहीं पता होता। और बहुत सारी चीजें फ्रैंकली स्पीकिंग चेंज हो चुकी है, जो हमने सीखा था और अभी में। तो नए बच्चों को उनके ही लेवल पे आके मुझे लगता है हम समझाएंगे बच्चों को। स्पेशली 5th 6th स्टैंडर्ड से बच्चे सीखना शुरू कर देते हैं, यही आइडियल एज है जो हम सिखाना शुरू करें। फाउंडेशनल को अभी इतने छोटे बच्चों को हम टारगेट नहीं कर सकते इसमें, बिकॉज उनको आदत लगने अभी शुरू भी नहीं हुई है। वो हार्डली कभी कुछ सुनते हैं, गाड़ी में लाउड म्यूजिक सुनते होंगे या वैसा। हाँ, लेकिन जो हॉकिंग है अननेसेसरली, जो रोड पे रहते हैं, ट्रैफिक सिग्नल पे गरिमा ने बोला है, वो हम छोटे बच्चों को सिखा सकते हैं कि अननेसेसरी नहीं हॉर्न बजाना है। अगर बजाते भी हैं पेरेंट्स, तो पेरेंट्स को ही बच्चे मना करें कि अभी सिग्नल रेड है तो आप ही, हाँ आप ही बंद करो।
Definitely. यहाँ पे when we talk about introducing good touch, bad touch, number one. When we talk about junk food, healthy food,
हाँ
noise
जी,
pollution के ऊपर भी we can work out a lot. Cross
यस,
mark what is healthy, cross mark what is not healthy. So जब आप ये चीजें 3-4 years से वर्कशीट्स में देते हो नॉइस पोल्यूशन के ऊपर, आप मानोगे नहीं 3-4 years से ऑनवर्ड से, क्योंकि दुनिया बच्चों के सामने है, सब देख रहे हैं। तो जब आप वर्कशीट में उसको ये देते हो, वो क्या चीज को रेड कलर करना है, क्या चीज को येलो करना है, यू हैव टू एक्सप्लेन देम। रेड कलर में ये जो चीज हमारे बॉडी के लिए डेंजरस है, एनवायरनमेंट के लिए डेंजरस है। येलो कलर व्हाट इज हेल्दी फॉर अस। दिस वे यू कैन प्लान अ करिकुलम बेस्ड लर्निंग लेसन प्लान व्हिच रिवॉल्व्स अराउंड ट्रांसपोर्टेशन, blending the concept, the theme, the real life skill and the noise pollution का awareness। ये सारी चीजें 4 in 1 plan आप क्रिएट कर सकते हो फ्रॉम 4 years ऑनवर्ड। तो यहाँ पे क्या है, टीचर्स को स्किल करना बहुत जरूरी है। टीचर्स को जब तक आप अवेयरनेस नहीं करोगे कि आपको मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी, इस पे वर्कशीट फ्लैट करना पड़ेगा, तब जाके नॉइस पोल्यूशन के जो भी वो अवेयरनेस क्रिएट करने के लिए जो चेंज मेकर्स है वो सक्सेसफुल होंगे।
Yes,
So,
and one thing
Ma'am,
I
if
would like
a
to add,
teacher,
yeah, one thing I would like to say, like when I was in US, that time actually what we felt कि वहाँ लोग हॉर्न ब्लो नहीं करते क्योंकि उनकी आदत का पार्ट है। एंड वी केम बैक इन इंडिया एंड वी एक्सपेरिमेंटेड इट ऑन आवरसेल्फ। लाइक सबसे पहले हम लोगों को जो जितने भी बड़े हैं उन सबको ये आदत में लाना पड़ेगा कि हमें अननेसेसरी हॉकिंग नहीं करनी है। तो उसके लिए हम लोगों ने एक एक्सपेरिमेंट खुद पे किया। हमने 6 महीने तक की हमने पेशेंस रखा, टर्निंग आई जहां पे हमने पेशेंस रखा, ग्रीन सिग्नल हुआ हमने पेशेंस रखा, और यू वोंट बिलीव दैट हमें 6 महीने में सिर्फ 2 बार, एक घाट सेक्शन में और एक दूसरी जगह पे हमें 2 बार इमरजेंसी में सिर्फ हॉर्न ब्लो करना पड़ा। तभी हम लोगों ने ये डिवाइस के ऊपर काम करना शुरू करा, बिकॉज इट इज वेरी चैलेंजिंग। एक आदत को सुधारने की बात कर रहे हो तो आदतें इतनी जल्दी नहीं बदलती, पहले खुद से शुरू करना पड़ेगा। बच्चों पे तो हम सिखा ही नहीं सकते। यहाँ पे हम लोग को चैलेंज आता है, हम जाते हैं सेशन लेते हैं, लेकिन वहां पे जितने टीचर्स रहते हैं पहले हम उनको बताते हैं कि स्टार्ट फ्रॉम योरसेल्फ फर्स्ट। आप पहले एक्सपेरिमेंट करो ना, आप भी सोचो कि आप नहीं जाओगे, आज सोच के ही निकलो कि नहीं आप बहुत स्लो गाड़ी चलाओगे, इससे भी बहुत इफेक्ट आएगा, लाइक एक्सीडेंट नहीं होंगे। थोड़ा से आप कॉन्शियसली चलाओ और हॉर्न को कम से कम यूज करो, देखो आप कितना पेशेंस रख पाते हो। तो ये एक्चुअली एक हम लोगों का मिशन है कि आप है ना जाके सिर्फ बच्चों को बताओगे नहीं, पहले हम सुधरेंगे, पहले हम कोशिश करेंगे, सब लोगों को हम बताएंगे कि यस हमने 6 महीने किया है वो काम। और ये आज मैं प्राउडली कहती हूँ कि यस हम लोगों को बिल्कुल परेशानी नहीं हुई। हमें स्ट्रेस होता था, यस, जब भी हम बहुत नॉइस आती थी।
गरिमा मैम, आई टेल यू वन थिंग, परेशानी किसी को किसी भी नहीं होती है, सिर्फ लोग लेजी है इम्प्लीमेंट करने में, बस इम्प्लीमेंट करने में हिम्मत चाहिए।
ये चीज मैं आप सभी टीचर्स, सभी चेंज मेकर से कहना चाहूंगी कि आप जब भी कहीं पे सेशन ले या इस चीज को, तो नॉइस पोल्यूशन के बारे में सिर्फ हमने स्टैटिस्टिक्स बता दिया या सिर्फ हमने बता दिया लोगों को कि इससे ये एडवर्स इफेक्ट होता है, उससे काम नहीं चलेगा। उसके पहले हमें अपने ऊपर काम करना पड़ेगा, हमें थोड़ा पेशेंस रखना पड़ेगा, हमें एक्सपेरिमेंट खुद पे करना पड़ेगा, फिर आगे हम लोगों को बता पाएंगे कि यस इट वर्क्स रियली इट वर्क्स। क्योंकि आप जब नहीं हॉर्न बजाओगे और आपको लगेगा ना कि कितना तकलीफ होती है आदत चेंज करने में तो वो जब उसके बाद आप आदतें चेंज करोगे और उसके बाद जब आपके कॉन्फिडेंस आएगा, नहीं आ जाएगा कि नहीं ये बहुत इजी है, तब आप लोगों को भी बता पाओगे और कन्विंस कर पाओगे। तो ये चीज हम लोगों की कोशिश है कि लोगों को पहले हम थोड़ा सा धीरे धीरे ही सही लेकिन बदलाव लाने की शुरुआत करें, और बड़ों से शुरुआत करें और फिर बच्चों पे जाते हैं, क्योंकि हम लोग सेशन लेते हैं वो 9th 10th और 11th क्लास के बच्चों का सेशन लेते हैं, क्योंकि कुछ सालों बाद उन्हें भी लाइसेंस मिलने वाला रहता है। तो उन्हें जब बताते हैं तो वो समझते हैं, इस चीज को बहुत गहराई से समझते हैं कि हाँ कितना हार्म कर रहे हैं वो इन्वायरमेंट को। तो इन्वायरमेंट को प्रोटेक्शन करने के लिए सिर्फ एक डायलॉग स्पीच से काम नहीं चलेगा, कहीं ना कहीं स्टेप उठाना पड़ेगा। एंड वी आर कमिंग विद द सॉल्यूशन कंट्रोल होम डिवाइस के साथ। तो अभी उसके बारे में तो नहीं बता पाऊंगी, लेकिन डेफिनेटली आप लोगों के सामने जरूर आएगा जल्दी से।
Wonderful, wonderful, Garima. Thank you for creating an awareness, and our best wishes to you and your husband for his launch. Definitely more success ahead. And it's a pleasure having you here and creating an awareness on noise pollution. अब से कल से प्रोजेक्ट शुरू हो जाएगा, देखना सबका, सबके व्हाट्सएप स्टेटस पे आ जाएगी नॉइज
फीडबैक
पोल्यूशन।
जरूर दीजिएगा कि आप लोगों को कैसा लग रहा है, मींस क्या चैलेंजेस आ रहे हैं, सो वी कैन इवन वी कैन इम्प्रूव।
यहाँ पे बहुत सारे पेरेंटिंग कोचेस भी है जो वर्कआउट करते हैं, इम्प्लीमेंट भी करते हैं, और मुझे व्हाट्सएप से पता चल जाता है सबका कि शुरू हो गया है, चलो दौड़ सिलसिला शुरू हो गया। So thank you so much for all this and all the knowledge that you have shared. Moving on to, I think, श्रीविद्या मैम और नाजिया मैम, किसको लेना है? आपका रोजा हो गया नाजिया मैम? क्या आपको जाना है रोजा के लिए?
Can I go ahead because I'm
Yeah,
traveling
Srividya
tomorrow?
ma'am, you can take over. I'll make you the host. Yeah. Because Raja ma'am is having a roza, no, so that's why I asked her. Yeah. Over to you, Srividya ma'am. I'll make you a host. Yeah, 1 minute. Yeah.
Yeah. So good evening, everybody, and thank you, Sonal ma'am, and thank you everybody for being here to make learning an experience, basically. So, normally we say for the group discussion, the last speaker need not prepare much because we can just take points from everybody and then carry on from there. So today I'm more or less in that position. So again, I've revised some of the points. So my topic is, okay, before that, I'll just introduce myself quickly. I'm a parent wellness coach. I always proudly say my journey started as a parent, and then becoming a parent wellness coach became a passion, because both my experience, learning, everything, that is what led me to be a parent wellness coach. And as a parent wellness coach, I create awareness among parents to understand certain parenting concepts before they make any choices. Because parenting tips, I say, we cannot just implement parenting tips without understanding why and how it works. So emotional intelligence and mindfulness, that awareness would help parents make the right choice and also develop emotional intelligence in children. This is my area of work. And for today's topic, games for learning. Okay, so let me start with what is learning. So the moment I got this topic, the first thing that came to my mind was I grew up in a joint family. So we have so many elders in the house who always come with some philosophical thoughts and all that stuff. So there is always one thing, whenever they ask us to do something, if at all we don't do it properly or we don't implement it properly, they would have, either it is go to the bank, deposit the check or something. We used to get all kinds of work when we were kids. If at all we don't do it properly, my father would just say, in Malayalam, it is called Kochi ki po. That means if someone tells you to go to Kochi, then he would narrate a story. There was one boy, his father told him, tomorrow you have to go to Kochi. Okay. The next day, when the father woke up, the son was not there. Okay. And then he saw him coming inside the house. So he asked him, where were you? And the son said, yeah, you asked me to go to Cochin. I got up early in the morning, went to Cochin and came back. The father was, okay, why did you go to Cochin? He didn't have an answer. He said, you asked me to go to Cochin, I went to Cochin and came. All right. The reason why we were told the story again and again was learning, when you do something, understand why you do it. The meaning is extremely important. Why you do this thing. So just because so go to Kochi is equivalent to a child preparing for an exam, writing the answer 100% without leaving any comma, full stop, inverted punctuation, words. That is like going to Cochin and coming back. Do they understand the meaning? Whatever I am writing, what is the takeaway from that? That is learning. So learning is basically a journey from knowledge to intelligence. How we actually apply our learning. Okay. And again, this also I got this journey, I would say, started when I was working with the organization, the SAI organization. I was asked to conduct parenting workshops, and they have a program called EduCare. I still consider this word as the most important word in my life. Education is about caring. That is why they call it EduCare. Okay. And there I was put on a project for 4 months. So I got, I think, grade 4. I don't remember. This is around 10 years back. Grade 4 math textbook. Okay. Because the SAI organization was having a project of imparting moral education in schools. And the project is still running in rural areas mainly. Okay. And for each lesson in math, I have to give them a related story and a game which is related to the concept of that particular chapter. Okay, so first I had to learn the concept properly to that level for a grade 4, and then we have to give both the story and the game for that. And the story should impart a moral value. This was the project. So for 6 months, literally for the entire math textbook, I was given 5 lessons, but that gave me the experience. Okay, how do we start? Like, as an educator, how do we harness our thinking skills? Okay, so that is where it all started for me. So now when I say, okay, games for learning is something which every educator can do, but yes, we need to practice and get that finesse in that. So again, going back to why games. Now learning, if we see, okay, learning is basically input and output. Both are very important. If the input is not there, there is no output. Most of the time, we don't get an output from the child because the input is incomplete. Now, why is the input incomplete? Because for learning to happen, information has to pass through 3 stages of memory. First, the memory is sensory memory. It's hardly for a few seconds. Okay, our brain automatically filters it. From sensory memory, it goes to short-term memory. Short-term memory is what would happen when kids learn in the last minute. Like, the day before the exam, they learn, they are able to get marks. That is short-term memory. They'll remember it only till the time that work is over. Okay, and then comes long-term memory. So 3 stages of memory we need to cross. So actual learning happens when it moves from sensory memory to long-term memory. And games actually would help this process. Through games, we can ensure that the learning process all the 3 stages of memory and it goes to long-term memory. Okay, that is one purpose of how games help in learning process. And the next is, for learning to happen, 3 things should happen. First, you need to understand, you need to remember, and then recall. Games again would take care of all the 3 points. They would understand, they would remember, and then they would recall. So how learning happens, the science behind it, how our brain works, based on that, the games should be devised. Now, games also, it is not as if we just take any random game and just start doing it because kids love games. No. What is the purpose of the game? Are we going to make them play a game so that they learn social skills, like how to be, how to behave in classroom? Then the way we make them play the game is very different. Are we making them, are we doing the game in the class so that they learn a particular topic? Then the goal of learning is very different. Okay, then the goal of the game is very different. Same game can be played in different ways depending upon what we want the child to learn. Whether it is the academics, whether it is social skills, whether it is classroom behavior, based on that, the same game can be played in a different way. The rules would change. That's it. Again, just to make clear, just one small example. In the parenting workshop, okay, the extensive parenting workshop wherein I go with the parents for almost 3 months. The last session, okay, they have to come with the children. Okay, and one activity as a game which the parent do is, it's an outdoor event. Okay, so all I tell the parents is, I give them a blank paper and pencil. The rule is, whatever the child says, they can draw only that. No input from the parent. Okay, whatever the child says, the child would see something, the child gets to choose what it sees in the external thing because it is an open area. Okay, and exactly the way the child says, the parent has to draw. Now, this is a game. What is the purpose of the game? So that the parents understand the child's level, okay, how it sees, how it explains. So that is the purpose of the game. So for the parent, it is very difficult. They would start giving inputs. But again, I would tell them, no, they cannot talk. Whatever. If the child tells the tree has to be like this, they have to draw it like this. So the child would guide everything. So games have multiple, like, it is really, really in-depth thing. So we cannot take games as a something like, fun and frolic. No, we need to take games very, very seriously because it gives drastic results and educators can use the game. Because anything, if you think about learning, yes, first is familiarity, right? If we don't understand what the teacher is telling, we don't understand even one word, believe me, it will not even reach the sensory memory because not even one word the child understands. The first step in learning is familiarity. And that comes with repetition. You repeat the same thing again and again. They just hear the word. Even if they don't understand the meaning, at least they understand. Okay, they hear the word. So games have to be inculcated in the classroom very, very strategically, knowing why we are playing the game, what is the purpose for the game, and then how do we play it. I will also be sharing very few games. There are n number of games which educators can use, but most common, like, what more teachers, whatever teachers have asked me more and what I've applied actually in the school for a teacher's training, I'm just sharing 3 games with you so that you understand. I will be able to relate the points better. Okay, so I'll just share my screen and
I've made you the host, Shividya ma'am.
yeah, I am sharing now. There's no sound. All right, so games for learning. All right. The first game which we'll be looking at is, okay, this is called the shelf table. Actually, all of you can always try it out in the phone also. In the App Store, if you go, you can even download the game called the shelf table. Now, how I use this in classroom, okay? In this, it's just in chronological order, okay? So one by one, either depending upon the strength of the class. These are all the teachers have to decide whether you make them play as a group or individual, all right? All we have to know to make them do is read the numbers in the chronological order. They have to point it out. Like they have to touch 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. So you make a chart. You make this grid. You write the numbers. And you set the timer. Okay, how many seconds? Children love it because this is something which they know. Familiarity is 100%. They know the numbers. So they can play the game. All right. And then you're getting their attention span. Because now they are focusing, right? So 1 to 20, how fast they do it. So they stand in a line. So indirectly, you're also forming all that. They have to maintain silence in a line. One after the other, they would come. The teacher is just writing down the notes. This is a very simple game. The same game, okay, can be used to teach them multiplication tables. Okay. You go in the order of 7. Now, this is table 7. Okay. So they have to go like, if I'm moving the cursor, 7, then you search for 14. And then you move on, like, till 70. So this way, what happens? Imagine every child is reading it, right? They are pointing it and saying it. What is happening? The entire class is repeatedly hearing that order. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35. They are hearing it. And they are also focusing. So the requirements for learning is all happening here. The input and output balance is happening. Input is also there. Output is also there. Attention span is there. Curiosity is there, which is another requirement. Prerequisite for learning is curiosity. Okay. That is also working here. depending upon the age. If it is for a grade 1 student, we can use this for counting in 2s, counting in 4s, or counting in 5s, counting in 10s. Shelf table can be used any way you want. And kids love it because they need the timer, right? Who finished first? 30 seconds, 20 seconds. The teacher should also participate. The first participant should be the teacher. Always. The teacher should always be a part of the game. So shelf table can be used for any kind of mathematical games, and it is real fun. And what things to remember for the teachers, while playing the game, keep at least 10 charts. Kids are very smart. Okay. The first 10 kids, if they read the chart, the 11th child would always remember the position. So you need to shuffle. So before you start the game, you should have 10 charts. The same 7 tables, the positions are different. So you keep on shuffling it so that every child gets a fair chance. Nobody is at an advantage. Okay. Plan the difficulty levels. By this, I mean, if at all kids are stumbling, they don't know, let's say the 7 tables or 8 tables, on the blackboard, the 7 tables should be there. There should be a help. The reason being, when a child repeats a mistake, a neural pathway, which was discussed just before me, the neural pathway is formed. They learn the mistakes also. So the aim is they don't repeat mistakes. So that is why that help has to be given. So plan the difficulty level. Then you can actually take them. Now, initially you write it in the blackboard. Then you don't write it in the blackboard. Okay, so that way we can adjust the difficulty levels. Then you go from the tables also, from 7, you can go to 2-digit, 12, 13, that and all. The teachers can grade it nicely. Define the rules clearly before starting the game. Like maintaining the silence, coming in queue, all this have to be maintained. Individual or groups, the teacher has to decide depending upon the time, availability of time. Okay. And the timer, when you play this game, loud and clear in the sense, you should have some proper timer. It should not be just the mobile wherein some kids hear it, some kids don't hear it. Use a bell. A natural noise is always better. Okay, some bell, or you just the bang on the table or anything is fine, but the timer has to be loud and clear. The start and finish should be clear. Mark the time taken by the group or the child. And again, the maximum time should always be given within 1 minute or 30 seconds. See, the difficulty level can be arranged that way also. Initially, you give 1 minute. Then you come to 30 seconds, 20 seconds. In 10 seconds, how can you finish it? So you are managing the time also. You are increasing the difficulty level. The child participation also happens. So how games have to be monitored and strategized. There is a strategy for using games in classroom. So this is the first game which I wanted to share with you, the shelf table. Okay. Now, another simple game, if at all we are teaching phonics. Okay. This I call the NG game. Now, when you teach the sound NG, okay, ing, ang, ong, these are the sounds which never change. Now, English is a crazy language. There is no definite rule for all the phonetics. So phonetics, I personally say, is a complementary tool. We cannot use it as 100%. But yes, some of the sounds universal, they don't change. So ing, ang, ong, are safe because they'll never change their sound. Okay. So this game is called the NG game. So the teacher has, now how we play the game is, the teacher first itself will make many chits. Supposing there are 40 kids in the classroom, keep 40 chits ready. And in the 40 chits, now there are 4 sounds, 4 letters are coming, I, A, U, and O. NG is common. So 10 I, 10 A, 10 U, 10 O. So chits are ready. And then you put it in a box, shuffle it nicely, ask every child in the class to take one chit. So every child is having one chit, either I, A, U, O, one of them. And the teacher will be holding the master card, that is the NG. Okay, the teacher is standing in the center of the classroom and she has the sound NG. Now, instruct the children not to show their chits to anyone and maintain silence. So these are the rules of the game. You should not show it to anybody. Keep it you see it and you know what chit you have. That's it. And then the teacher can just start. First, always the rule for any game is explain the game and give a demo. After that only we should start a game. Demo is extremely important in any game. So as a demo, you can just say all the 4 sounds So when the teacher says ing, what happens? all the 10 kids who have the I chip, they have to come out and stand next to the teacher. Because then they realize, okay, ing makes it ing. You change it to ong, so they go back and the o would come. So this way, you're teaching the sound. There is also movement because kids are moving from one place to another. So that brings them to the present moment, to the classroom. And they learn also because ing, ang, ong. So the teacher keeps on repeating it. So at least minimum 3 rounds is advisable because the teacher would repeat each sound at least 3 times. Ing, ang, ong, ang. And they also, somewhere or the other, they identify the difference between ing, ang, ong, how it changes, the different sounds. So how the games would encourage learning. So this is the second game. Same way, the points to remember is at least 12 rounds we need to do so that they hear all the sounds. Plan difficulty levels. How do we plan the difficulty level? We can move to words. Instead of ing, the teacher can say swing, okay, or hung, or sang. So they identify that ang and then they come. So that is how we improve the difficulty levels. Define the rules clearly before starting the game and give a demo. So unless and until we give the demo, there will be confusion. Okay, this is the second game. Now I'm just taking subject-wise. Okay, if at all it is fractions. A very simple game is similar to fire in the mountain, right? We say fire in the mountain, run, run, run. I want a group of 4. I want a group of 5. I want a group of 6. This is a very common game. The same can be applied for fractions. I want 1 by 3. Okay, we keep saying, the teacher keeps on saying the kids are moving in a circle. And then the teacher would say, run, 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 fire in the mountain, run, run, run. I want 2 by 3. So immediately they have to form a group of 3 because denominator is 3. Okay, they form a group of 3 and 2 by 3. So 2 of them should stand aside and raise their hands. So that is 2 by 3. Okay, if it is 1 half, 1/4. So the game is there. They understand what fraction is. Because all the kids would form a group of 3s or 4s and then they raise their hand, they stand aside, they learn fractions in a very practical manner. So this way we can, according to the topic, educators can make game. But when we make game, as I mentioned at the beginning, input to output is something which the teacher should remember. What they learn and how the output is how they implement it. Based on that, any game can be for any topic we can play. Okay, so I'll just stop my screen sharing now. Moving on, it is not just for primary kids or secondary kids, even like 8th, 9th, 10th, high school, complicated subjects, we can convert it into games. Okay, like let's say 6th standard geography, they are talking about rivers of India. All the teacher will have to do is draw a map of India. Okay, now the river Ganga is flowing from north to south. Which all states are you covering? Okay, so they can just move. So all the rivers can be formed. So what happens, because they want to play the game, you're giving them time to discuss, you're explaining the game. By default, they will start learning. And also they understand how it is applied. Okay, they understand, okay, in the map, geography, this is how it is happening. Periodic tables. All right, periodic tables can be converted into a game. You draw the periodic table on the floor of the class, just the squares. Okay, and then you're saying all the metals are going to come and take the position. You can use just one drawing to weigh. The difficulty level can be decided by the teacher, starting from the chemical name. Okay, so you say the name, do you come and stand in the correct position? You're giving the support. The blackboard will have the table. So every child, it's like an open book examination. On the blackboard, the periodic table is there. They can always look at it. But there is a movement. They're coming and taking their positions on the periodic table on the floor. Okay, are they taking the right positions? It can be made into groups. Okay, they can call out each other, like 2 groups. You say one metal, one person from the other group has to come and stand in the position. You get a point. So any class, depending upon the time available, frequency should be decided by the educator, whether you're playing once a week, once in 2 weeks, anything is fine. And related to the topic. So any lesson or any lesson plan, games are possible. We can make games. Okay, depending upon the nature of the class. That is another important thing. We can group them, and learning really becomes not only fun, it is more about the purpose of learning. As educators, the first thing we have to always remember is the child should understand the purpose of learning. So that is the goal of games for learning. They understand the purpose. You implement it, wherever possible, how you implement it. So thank you. So any questions? Yes, because I've taken a very different perspective to it. I'm ready to answer if at all there is any question.
Thank you so much, Shividya ma'am. Thank you for the wonderful, insightful takeaways from your session, from your topic, I will say. And just make me the host. I would like to take the
I'm
session.
just doing that.
Yeah. I would like to take it faster now.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I would like to take Nazia ma'am on the stage, and please take over the stage, Nazia ma'am, and speak over your topic. Yeah.
Thank you, Sonal ma'am. Good evening, everyone. This is Nazia Mehdi Imam, an educator with 15 years of experience, an author who writes about life skills, and a life skill trainer, entrepreneurship development coach in D.Y. Patil International School, Pune. And above all, a human being understanding her own life journey. So I see education after the experience of 15 years, very intense communication and intense relationship with my students. I'm an acute observer of my children in my class, students. Each and everything I notice when they learn during my class. So after this experience, I got many things noticed about the education, the demand, the type of education which current generation Z and Alpha generation demand, and what type of generation we are providing in the school and colleges. There is a drastic change from my generation to Z generation, and from Z generation to Alpha generation. I noticed that the way of learning, the pattern of learning, the field of interest are also different among these children. So I have come up with the topic, life skills to humanitarians. How this education system is going to cater these two generations, because millennials have completed their education journey. They are doing their profession, and in practical life, they are using their education. Now we are as leaders or mentors of Z generation and Alpha generation. How can we help these children with all those experience which we have gathered in our life, the true experiences? And before I start with the content information and my experiential information with you all, I would like to quote Father of Nation Mahatma Gandhi. He said that, "Carefully watch your thoughts, for they become your words. Manage and watch your words, for they will become your actions." And so I have noticed that the education system must inculcate life skills along with the conceptual knowledge. Like if children are studying the concept of science 2 days in the classroom with the practical and with the practical output in their life, they should go for 3 days, practice it at their home as well. I have found that Finland has the best education around the world, because Finland provides its children 6 months conceptual education and 6 month practical life exposure to what the school is teaching. And as we know that new education policy 2020 is speaking about about all these things, still it will take more 10 years to come into the field. So many schools have come up with the program of life skills and entrepreneurship development that is going to make a person till the age of 18 a skilled person to do at least part-time job to become financial independent at the age of 18. so that the person can become in charge, the student can become in charge of his or her life. The education, the motto of education is to free the human being from all those things with which he doesn't or she doesn't want to be caught. So the freedom comes with a good quality of education, as we have understood by the mean of education. And when the freedom will come with the sense that to what extent I should feel free, means freedom with a sense of discipline that is required to inculcate the thought of humanitarianism among all the children around the world. Whatever problem we are noticing at international level or national level, all are rooted somewhere in the education system, whether it is from the school, from university, from home, or from the society. So then the education will become the solution for each and every social problem, starting from mental harassment till the murder. If the child understands that this is my life, I am in charge of my life, I can set small goals at the age of 6 and I can accomplish it because my parents are giving me freedom to accomplish it. The child will feel content at the age of 5, at the age of 6. And gradually with that procedure, when the child reaches at the age of 18, the child is much clear about the vision of life, to which field I need to go, what profession I need to choose, what type of income I want to earn in my life, whether I will earn 50,000 or I will earn 1 lakh above. Everything will be decided by the child himself or herself. And when the child takes that duty about his or her life, the life goes difficult, but there are challenges because the child will set the challenge for himself or herself, but the child will do it with interest because that difficulty level is set by the child himself or herself. And this is how a child, along with the life skill training and along with the training of entrepreneurship development program, or to understand himself or herself whether he wants to become an entrepreneur or he wants to become an engineer or he wants to become a home made business, or she wants to open a cloud kitchen, anything, or she only wants to become an affectionate mother or an educator who can connect to the people around. This decision must be taken by the individual himself or herself. Then his or her life will be content. And a content person is a humanitarian who will never disturb any other in the surrounding. And so the social problems will be automatically finished with this sense of education. So I have come up with 2-3 things as a life coach or life skill trainer, that these 3-4 topics must be inculcated among the children at very early age, which many schools are doing. Wherever I have worked, I have found that these are the topics they are taking into consideration. But how much practically the children are using in their life, that we need to check as parents and as educators as well. So the first topic which we are facing in India, there are 40 crores and above families are educated. Still, when the topic comes of national unity, we face a challenge. How to collect these people to unite at national level? It's a challenge among among Indians. So what we would do in life skills, we will take this as a unit, national unity as a unit, and in which we will have the chapters or subunits like visit different states, different worship places, cultural exchange program, so that all these things will help a child to understand that, oh, I belong to this state, my cultural background is that. It is a blessing for me that God has gifted me this state and this cultural background, and same it is the blessing for other state and other cultural background children. So they will, at very tender age, they will start connecting them as human beings, rather connecting them as citizen of Uttar Pradesh or Madhya Pradesh or Odisha or Tamil Nadu, etc. So this thing is very much required to collect all Indians as at a platform to work for the world's largest democracy, that is India, with cultural fraternity. And second is, we are working to make the children a problem solver at every age of their life. So for becoming a problem solver, we have to inculcate the listening skill in the lesson plan, where the teacher talks about 25 minutes and children get time to speak for 10 minutes. Automatically the students become talkative more and becoming a listener less. Yeah. So what we have to do, we have to do vice versa. 25 minutes give to children to speak. So if suppose a class is having 35 children in a class, and one minute every child will get, it will cover 35 minutes of listening for the teacher. And then the child will be feeling content that teacher has listened to me, and then he will start to become a very good listener. But nowadays in classroom situation, the teachers are means full of so much content and so much education topic to be covered, that she cannot give those 35 minutes to the children to listen. But until and unless this will reverse, the children are not going to become a good listener. This is practical experience, what I noticed in the classroom. So every time we complain that children are talking a lot, because we talk a lot in front of them. 25 minutes we talk and 10 minutes we give them to listen. That's why it happens. So anywhere we have to change the lesson plan like this, so that, and we should talk to the management, we should talk to the teachers, we should talk to the coordinators about this. If we want to decrease the problem of the children are talking much and listening less, we have to change it practically inside the classroom. Very innocently, one child asked me that, teacher, everybody comes and tells that we are so talkative. You are a problem solver, no? When I go, I tell that I'm a problem solver and I want to make you problem solver of our nation. So we will discuss some real life problems so that we can start working from here only. So the child asked me this question. And then I answered the children, because the education system is such that you are not allowed to listen. That's why practically you are becoming talkative, because you see your teacher talking for 25 minutes. This is the real fact. Maybe it is not changing now, but when you will grow and it will take time to change the society. Society doesn't change in one day, and the system doesn't change in one day. It takes generations to generation to change some little thing in the society. So if I will explain you the fact clearly, you will understand, and maybe when the education system will come in your hand and you will be the power working as education ministry, at least you will reverse this and you will give the chance to the children to speak, so that they can understand that now we need to listen. And for making the children problem solver, first thing, they should become a listener. Second, they should become a speaker of their own thought. Not forceful thought, not the thought that is convinced by someone, but the real thought that comes from them within. And third, they should become the practitioner of all the concepts they study in the school, so that at home they will practice, in their social life they will practice, and so the change will definitely come. And that's how the child will understand his or her life's journey. And then the child will start working as humanitarians. It is not an easy journey to start an individual to become a humanitarian. It will take at least the course of 30 to 40 years to understand this. But at least our target is to let children understand their life's journey through life skills to humanitarianism. That's all. And I have heard all those teachers, those who were speaking, Miss Asha, Miss Meena Shah, Miss Garima, all those things like we should inculcate these things and this honking one and everything. Inside my class, I'll just tell about this honking one, that the noise level, I tell my children that when the noise level reaches our head, children, this is our mouth, noise level should be till nose. The moment it reaches the head, we get many issues here in the brain. And then I have trained them to do some like exercise that will help their brain to be calmer, relaxing, so that more thing they can absorb. And then I told them, see these two hands, hamari hi mutti mein akash sara. These two hands are our helpers. Those Almighty has blessed us with. What we have to do whenever we see that there are honking or there are high level noise, not audible. So what we need to do? 2 fingers inside your ears first. Second, you have to just rub your palms. The warmth of your hand is going to protect your brain from any bad happenings in the surrounding. So bless your brain like this. My dear brain, I bless you with a healthy habit not to listen high volume. And children do it and they love it. And this is how I work with my children. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Wonderful, wonderful, Nazia ma'am. Too good. आपने इंसानियत जगा दी. So it was good to hear from you. And over to my international educator member and a good friend, Rania Lampu from Greece. So over to you, Rania ma'am, to share your topic today. And I take this moment to express my humble, I will say, gratitude and apologies also for all of you who are waiting for your turn, because since it's a Skillathon series and there needs to be patience in everyone to share their knowledge, because we all here in a collaborative learning journey. So apologies for me from my side to keep you waiting also. So Ripple ma'am, साथ दे दीजिएगा जरा.
Okay,
Over
good
to you, Rania
afternoon, good
ma'am.
evening. Thank you so much, Dr. Sonal. I would like to congratulate all speakers so far for their wonderful presentations and the best practices that they share. It's really, as you said, a collaborative journey, because we learn from each other and we become better. As a STEM instructor, I would like to focus on inquiry-based learning, and especially how this could be applied in science teaching, because when we are involved in STEM projects, usually we try to encourage students to first to questioning. Students are encouraged to ask open-ended questions, to explore topics further and guide their learning. Second is investigation. Students engage in hands-on activities, experiments, always research. You can't teach science without experiments, as it was happening in the past. Exploration to find answers to the questions. And of course, this has to do with the critical thinking. So inquiry-based learning actually is something that fosters critical thinking skills, because students analyze information, they formulate hypotheses, they observe the nature around them, they evaluate evidence, they gather information, and of course, they draw conclusions based on the findings. At the same time, it's a collaborative effort, because students often work in groups or pairs to share ideas, and reflection, because this encourages students to reflect on their own learning experiences, to consider, we could say, alternative perspectives, and make connections between new information and prior knowledge. So it has to do with student-centered learning, and I think the basic learning examples that we use in science, of course, science experiments. It's one way to incorporate inquiry-based learning into the classroom, is to allow students to conduct experiments. This will encourage them to ask questions and think critically about the results. Another method is the field trips, because this way we can encourage students to explore real-world problems and see how what they're learning in the classroom is relevant and meaningful to them. Another way is classroom debates also, another way to encourage this type of learning, because when students debate a topic, they are forced to think critically about both the sides of the argument. Projects, of course, because when students are given the opportunity to work on a project that is related to the topic they're studying, they will be more likely to learn and remember the information. And group work, because when students work in groups, they're able to share their ideas and thoughts with others. What would be the strategies and the tips in order to implement inquiry-based learning? First, we need to start with a question. What would say STEM has to do with problem solving. So we always start from a problem that could be in the community, or it could be from a global society. It could be, for instance, climate change. So students are encouraged to be problem solvers, as previous speaker said. So the best way to start an inquiry-based lesson is by asking a question. This will get students thinking about the topic, and this encourages them to ask their own questions. The second is to allow them for exploration. So once you have asked the question, allow students to explore the topic, and this will help them to understand the material better. The third is encourage discussion. Encourage students to discuss their ideas with each other. And this will help them to develop a better understanding, of course, of the material. Provide more resources that could be very useful, and finally summarize what was learned. Usually the models that we use in the classroom about inquiry-based learning is the first question model. It's one of the most basic models for inquiry-based learning because it involves asking students questions about the topic. The second model is the problem-based learning model. Is an excellent option for inquiry-based learning because, as I said before, we give students a problem to solve. Project-based learning model and inquiry cycle model. In this case, students, in the last case, in the inquiry cycle model, students should explore a topic in depth and share the discoveries with others. And then we talk about the types of inquiry-based learning. First is what we call structure inquiry approach. This is a process that helps students to learn how to ask questions, investigate real-world problems. It's often used in science classes where students are given a problem to investigate and are taught how to use the scientific process to find a solution. The second one is an open-ended inquiry approach. Is a more free, we could say, form approach. And in this case, students are given the freedom to explore the interest and ask questions about the topic that they're studying. This case, the open-ended inquiry approach is used in humanity classes, where students are asked to explore a topic in depth and debate different viewpoints. Another type of inquiry-based learning is what we call problem-based inquiry approach, when students are given a real-world problem to solve, and a guided inquiry approach also, because this way, usually we use it in elementary and middle school classrooms, and we guide students in order to ask questions and find solutions. Of course, the benefits of all this is, of course, that, as I said before, encourage critical thinking, improve problem-solving skills, encourage creativity, connect learning to the real world, so we talk about authentic, meaningful learning, help students understand complex topics, and encourage engaged learning. So before concluding, I want to say an example of lesson plan that we can apply if we want, for instance, to explore ecosystems with the students of the 5th grade. Subject is science. So students, what would be the objective of this lesson plan? Students can investigate ecosystems and the interrelationships between living organisms and the environment. Will develop critical thinking by asking questions, conducting research, analyzing data, and students will collaborate with peers to explore and present findings. So the first day for the introduction, we can begin by discussing what ecosystems are, why they're important. We can ask students to share the prior knowledge about different ecosystems, introduce the concept of inquiry-based learning, and explain that students will be investigating ecosystems through questioning and exploration. Then we can proceed with an inquiry activity. We can divide students into small groups, provide each group with a different ecosystem to explore, encourage students to brainstorm questions about their assigned ecosystem. For instance, what type of plants and animals live there? What are the environmental conditions like? And of course, allow students time to research the questions using online resources or books. Finally, we can have a group discussion we can share our questions and findings with the class, and of course encourage the students to ask follow-up questions or share their additional insights. That would be for the first day. The second day can be dedicated to data collection. We can assign small groups and instruct students to conduct field observations or research online to gather data about the assigned ecosystem. So we encourage students to take notes, to make sketches, to record their observations in their notebooks. The first data collection, the second will be data analysis. So have students analyze the data they collected, identify patterns or trends, encourage students to discuss their findings with the group members, draw conclusions, and finally they can present their work through a poster, through a statistical graph, or any other way they like. The third day, we can, that could be the presentation and reflection, of course, because we can conclude the lesson by asking students to reflect on their own learning experience. The assessment would be by observing student participation and engagement during the group discussions, to review students' research notes, data collection, and analysis in order to assess their understanding of ecosystems, to evaluate the quality of student also presentations. And as an extension activity, we can invite students to compare and contrast different ecosystems or investigate how human activities impact ecosystems. Of course, if we talk about STEM is another case there. I didn't want today to involve technology because it's another process. More or less are the same principles, but if we talk about using devices like Arduino or Raspberry, then the process would be different. So thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much.
Now with robotics, we need to be familiarized with inquiry-based learning and all the process, the steps, in order to conduct effective robotics programs or in general STEM projects. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rania ma'am, for sharing your knowledge over here and for being a part of this Skillathon Reformation series. And thank you for the patience also.
Thank you.
It's always a delight to hear from you, where we connect cultures together to create a system of learning and education also. So thank you so much from my deepest bottom of my heart. Thank you. So I would like to take on stage Neena Singh, ma'am. Are you there, ma'am? Yeah, please take the stage, introduce about yourself and your topic, ma'am. Over to you. Yeah.
Thank you. So, am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Good evening, friends. I would like to extend my gratitude for being invited to this platform, and I feel honored to be sharing my thoughts with all the intellectual educators. I am Neena Singh from Pune. I have done MPhil in chemistry, and I have done masters in 3 subjects, chemistry, ecology and environment, and fine art. I'm a trained art conservator with PG diploma in computer application and PG diploma in pollution management. And I have had multiple careers. As you can see, I am 58 years old, and I had multiple careers. I started as a chemist in power sector. And then after 15 years, I took up teaching chemistry for another 10 years, preparing students for engineering and medical entrance exams. And since 2014, I have turned into a professional artist, author, art conservator, and art critic. So my today's topic is not directly related to education or changes in the learning process. However, it is a topic about which I would like to share its importance through your platform, the importance of art conservation. Because under the current circumstances, being able attached to our roots is almost mandatory, whatever level of education we have, but being attached to roots, our culture is also very mandatory, which I feel. So I'm sharing this topic. My views about significance of art conservation. Now, this is a topic about which the understanding of common people is almost negligible. So before coming to art conservation, let's understand why art is essential and what is the importance of art in our day-to-day life. So we see that art is all around us. Whether we hear a favorite song on radio or see a beautiful mural or we watch a movie, you experience art every day. Art has its own language, whether it is a painting, a sculpture, a dance routine, a favorite song or poetry. Art can communicate in ways that words sometimes cannot. So we can say that art has been a natural form of expression and communication for ages. Now, art and human history, they go hand in hand. Jitna purana human history hai, utna hi purana art hai. And that's the reason why people dedicate their lives to study cave art, Shakespearean plays, and so many more. If we discuss that, what are the advantages of art? So, starting with children. When it comes to children, art helps them to develop better motor skills and visual learning. Now, research indicates that young people who regularly participate in art activities are 4 times more likely to be recognized for their academic achievements. Then there are tons of examples where art has contributed to the development of the student. I won't go into the detail because my topic is art conservation. So the therapeutic effects of art is also well established today, and now it is so profound that it has also been used for severe cases for treating people with mental illness and facing emotional challenges, and certified professionals are helping people to deal with mental illness by using the therapeutic effects of art. So then art can also serve as a vehicle for social change, and since long time it has been part of the social change activities, like government uses murals, paintings, drama, jisko bolte hum log dance drama, then movies and songs as propaganda material to change the public opinion, and to launch a public awareness campaign or public informational campaign. The government frequently uses these art platform. So we can say that art is so communicative that it helps people from various cultures to understand and communicate with each other through songs, pictures, and stories. People often relate to different societies and cultures through their artistic representations. एंड जस्ट एक एग्जांपल के तौर पे अगर हम कहें कि अगर हम कहीं पे भी ताजमहल का एक इमेज देखें तो सीधे ध्यान कहाँ जाता है, इंडिया के बारे में जाता है. तो किसी भी कंट्री के, जैसे अगर मान लीजिए हम बार्न हाउसेस और विंड मिल्स देखते हैं तो वी कनेक्टेड टू हॉलैंड. तो मतलब ये आर्ट जो है एक मतलब किसी कंट्री को रिप्रेजेंट्स की आइडेंटिटी बन जाती है. सो नाउ कमिंग टू आर्ट कंजर्वेशन. तो आर्ट तो हमारे जिंदगी का हिस्सा तब से रहे जब से ह्यूमन का इतिहास है. जितना पुराना ह्यूमन हिस्ट्री है उतना ही पुराना आर्ट की हिस्ट्री है. Now, conservation of art, it is an attempt to preserve and restore the ancient paintings, architectures, then drawings, prints, old maps, objects such as glassware, furniture, textiles, metal, ceramics, sculptures. Endless list है मतलब जिनका हम कंजर्वेशन कर सकते हैं. एंड these items, we can say कि every item, every object, every physical object will naturally decay. It is inevitable. You cannot avoid the decay process. वो होगा ही होगा. Now, this decay process may be accelerated due to inappropriate usage, negligence of people. So, by conservation, we are delaying the process of decay. We cannot stop decay. We are delaying the process of decay. So here we have to understand that why preserve art. आर्ट को प्रिजर्व करने की क्या जरूरत है, क्यों इतना पैसा खर्चा करना या इस पे दिमाग खर्च करना, मतलब what's the importance? So as I told that preservation of art is for preventing या protecting the objects from physical damage, but it is more than that. It is also about maintaining the integrity of the artwork, which includes the aesthetic qualities of the artwork, the historical context, the cultural significance. Preserving all these things come together in preservation of art. It is not just a physical protection. Now, from the historical perspective, art preservation is crucial because it allows us to understand and appreciate the past in a better way. आज हम अपने past के बारे में जानते हैं. कैसे जानते हैं? आर्ट की वजह से. उस समय के जो आर्ट प्रिजर्व थे, किसी भी वजह से थे, उसकी वजह से हम जान पाते हैं कि पुराने जमाने में कैसा था हमारा, what was our culture, where our roots belong to. ठीक है? I'll give an interesting example. Everyone might have heard of this Madhubani paintings, commonly बोलते हैं, मिथिला art बोलते हैं. Now, the first reference of this Mithila art is mentioned in Ramayana, Ramcharitmanas by Tulsidas. There he describes that the whole city was decorated when the marriage of his daughter Sita was conducted, and the whole decoration, and then ऐसा नहीं कि वो उस समय शुरू हुआ होगा, भाई उससे पहले से चल रहा होगा. डॉक्यूमेंटेशन जो पहला मिलता है वो वहां पे मिलता है. अब आप सोचिए कि हमारा आर्ट और कल्चर कितना पुराना है. एंड टुडे आल्सो द पीपल follow their rituals, follow their culture of creating art in the bride's room. So art preservation is essential because it safeguards the cultural heritage of a nation. It preserves its identity. Now, without proper preservation, art can be lost forever, and all the information which it holds can be destroyed. So art preservation is essential to the art world, ensuring that the art remains intact for the present generation and it is accessible to the future generation. If you might have, most of you might have come across some museum or some caves you might have visited. And ancient artists showcase their daily lives through cave painting, petroglyphs. So, for example, the Amba Devi rock shelters, have the oldest cave painting in India, dating back to 25,000 years. The Bhimbetka rock shelters, they also date back to 8,000 BC. ऐसे बहुत सारे हैं. तो similar paintings are found in other parts of India as well. So these paintings, they depict the lives, the time of people who lived in caves, including activities like childbirth, communal dancing and drinking, religious rites, burials, the indigenous animals that were at that time. So to better understand the importance of art preservation, it's essential to consider it from different perspectives, including its importance in the art industry, its importance for museums and for the general public. Now, as for art industry is a huge industry, and art preservation is fundamental to any art industry. For example, art is a significant investment, and collectors and investors, they want to ensure that their collections are maintained and preserved to maintain the aesthetic value. Now, preserving art is vital for maintaining its original quality, and this is also important for its market value. For example, a painting by a famous artist which is well preserved will have more monetary value than the poorly maintained painting. Who wants to buy a damaged painting? No one wants to buy. So if it is well maintained, then it will have more value. Then secondly, the museum plays a crucial role in art preservation. Museums and the art galleries, they are responsible for preserving and displaying art to the public. They use depositories to preserve their collections. Now, depositories are designed to protect the artwork from environmental factors such as light, relative humidity, temperature, environmental pollution. These are the factors which are responsible for the damage of the artwork. So these museums, they create certain environment for the artifacts so that their life can be increased. So these factors contribute to the deterioration like environmental pollution, relative humidity. So proper storage conditions ensure that the artwork will remain intact and it can be displayed and available for the future generation to appreciate. to understand our art. And whatever art we are creating today, that also has to be preserved, so that the coming generations will know how we live. So the general public also has a lot of benefits from art preservation. Now, अगर हम commercial level पे देखें, तो being an art conservator from student point of view, as because all the maximum people, they spoke on education and how the learning can be enhanced among the students. So the next level पे जाता है कि career option. So art conservator is a great career option. Art galleries, art conservatories, restoration companies, they offer careers in antique restoration, and number of career options are available in this field. So, art conservation is a multidisciplinary field. We need the knowledge of art, we need the knowledge of archaeology, we need the knowledge of science, knowledge of chemistry. So many subjects are involved. So it is a multidisciplinary field where an art conservator can work. Now, significance of conservation and restoration, it extends beyond the realm of art and cultural heritage. It serves as a bridge between the past and the future. It contributes to a collective heritage that surpasses time. समय सीमा नहीं है उसकी, आज है, कल भी रहेगा, हमेशा रहेगा. और पास्ट को फ्यूचर से कनेक्ट करने वाला एक ऐसा ब्रिज है आर्ट कंजर्वेशन. So in summary, I would say that art conservation and restoration is essential in upholding the cultural identity of our country, fostering appreciation, encouraging creativity, because creativity is also one of the important criteria when we come to learning, right? So contributing to a shared heritage. अब जैसे रहता है ना कि जिनका रिचुअल सेम होते हैं, कल्चरल वैल्यू सेम होते हैं, हेरिटेज सेम होता है, तो उनके बीच में प्यार भी ज्यादा होता है. तो एक natural tendency to have a sense of belongingness increases through art. And it also ensures the preservation of historical and culturally significant artworks. So that's it for today. In the end, I would like to thank you all for your time and giving me this opportunity to share my views. A special thanks to my dear friend Garima and Sonal Jhaj. I really appreciate for all the initiative you all are taking as change makers, and I'm happy to be associated with Nisarg Srishti Foundation and Metamorphosis. Thank you so much, and I look forward that in future sessions we'll meet again.
Thank you so much, Neena ma'am, for sharing your knowledge. Definitely, we need to create an awareness for reviving the culture. When we talk about cultural connections, so definitely reviving of the art culture is also to be taken into consideration for the children. And definitely children are the medium to connect the past and the present.
Very true.
Thank you for highlighting this issue also.
Thank
you. A
so
lot to learn from today's session. So over to Dimple ma'am for the next speaker of the day. And then Meena ma'am, I take an apology to take you after Dimple ma'am. Humble apology from my side. And thank you to each and everyone for being a part over here, for being with me to make this Skillathon Reformation series a success. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. And yes, it's been indeed wonderful listening to everybody, the innovative ideas, as well as many new ideas and insights into everything that's happening. I'm Dimple Sahi. I complete 40 years of teaching in June 2024. I have worked with various age groups, right from the pre-primary to the primary to retail management to cultural training in a BPO to having my own preschool and a lot more. And currently I'm working as an academic coordinator for the Trinity International School in Pune. So the topic I am going to be talking about is educating the educated mind. So the question which comes in is, do we really need to educate the educated minds? And the answer is, हमें तो सब आता है, फिर हम क्यों कुछ सीखें? But well, that's not what it is, because educating the educated minds involves continuous learning and development beyond formal education. So what we talk about formal education is lifelong. We've always been saying it is the 3 R's, that's reading, writing, and arithmetic. But it is much more and much beyond that, because it focuses on enhancing skills, knowledge, attitudes to adapt to changing circumstances. With that, pursue your own personal growth and contribute effectively to society. So that's the gist. Now, why is it important? So if we talk about it, lifelong learning, we are in a fast-paced world, we are in a digital world, and if we don't learn, if we are continuously not learning, we will not find ourselves relevant in the world today. So today, when our 9-year-old or our 10-year-old child comes and tells us, and we are struggling with something on the mobile, and he comes and tells, "Oh, mama, aapko itna bhi nahi pata." And then you realize, oh yes, hame to sach mein pata nahi hai. So that's what it is, it is lifelong learning. The other thing is personal growth. Now, if I am not going to learn, if I am not going to learn Excel, and I'm not going to learn spreadsheets, and I'm not going to learn, like even now we were struggling with Zoom or with Google Meet, then what's going to happen? We are going to become stagnant. We might have all the knowledge in the world, but are we, if we are not digitally aware, are we going to be able to put our ideas across globally? We will not be able to do that, because gone are the days where you could take an inland letter and write, or you could take papers and sheets and sheets of paper, write a letter, put it into the envelope and send. Gone are those days. Today we are all into the days of ASAP. So there, what do? We need to we need to move for a personal growth. We need to adapt to new technologies. We need to adapt to societal changes. I cannot, continue saying my mother used to do this and I am going to do this. My mama used to take 45 minutes to cook something, so I'm also going to take that much time. It's not going to happen because we don't have that much time, right? So we have to adapt to changes. We have to, I wouldn't say we have to get on to fast food, but yes, we have to find techniques to make food fast, right? So that's adaptability. Then the other thing is civic engagement. So as Garima was talking about, sound pollution, noise pollution. So that's civic engagement. Unless I, unless I do not deepen my knowledge on the various issues which are, coming up, and those issues are affecting me mentally, they're affecting me physically, and maybe down the line, they will also affect me financially. So civic engagement is very important. And for civic engagement, I need to have, I need to be a critical thinker, and I need to take active participation in democratic processes. So when I talk about democratic processes, is not politics, but it's by me, for me, and for the people around me. And if I am, if I personally believe that I am going to be the one who's going to do it, obviously my family is going to start, my neighbors will start, soon the floor I live in starts, the building starts. So that's how it is, and it moves out. What are the approaches I can adapt, to educate an educated mind? One is self-directed learning. Take responsibility for setting my own goals, seek resources from where I can gain knowledge, reflect on my own progress, and that will help me move further. Continue by participating in workshops, seminars. Online Metamorphosis gives us an excellent platform. Utilize it to the fullest and be the change maker. Be a mentor. Learn to network with your peers, maybe with even seniors around you, even juniors around you. There's a lot of learning. Read, because it's always said, once a reader, always a leader. So reading is something which can, expand horizons and makes the world so very small and everything onto you. Develop your skills, identify the areas for improvement, invest time, and we are blessed with, we've got so many platforms these days where you don't even need to go out somewhere to learn. Everything is available online. You can always do. We've got wonderful platforms. We've got Coursera, we've got Allison, we've got Udemy, name it. And these are just a few I am following these days. There are many more to follow also. So what are the benefits? Now, it is like, okay, I have become, become the principal of the school. I have become the academic coordinator. Now, iske aage kya not needed? No, iske aage bhi it's always needed, because it is for your own self that, you learn. It helps you to, accept challenges and face challenges. It helps you to, be a better leader, be a better guide, be a better mentor. And then, of course, there's personal fulfillment. It gives you that feeling of, wow. You create a social impact. No matter how small it is, you definitely create a social impact. So, simple things like, okay, I can give you an example of, the entire school was out for dispersal. And, there were just 3 or 4 bits of paper lying around. And I thought, that if I tell the children to pick up, they already had their bags on their shoulders, which are always heavy. So I just bent down and I picked up the papers. And the moment someone saw me picking up the papers, they were like, "Ma'am, give it to me. I'll throw it in the dustbin." So I said, "No, I'll throw it," because the papers were wet also. So I threw them in the dustbin. But going ahead, 2 other children saw some papers. They put their bags aside, picked up the papers, threw them in the dustbin. So that's the kind of social impact you bring. So, it's always change begins with me. Then it's also health and well-being, because, intellectual stimulation promotes cognitive health, resilience. And, we often talk about age-related cognitive decline. All of us go through it. I mean, so even when I read about age cognitive, decline, and I started thinking, okay, like now I'm 57, so I need to start working on my brain, like word power and all Sudoku and everything, and anything that can help you keep your brain active. Again, global citizenship. You don't really need to, be in the US or be in the UK or be in Finland. So, we talk about Finland education, this is what is happening. Singapore education, this is what is happening. Again, vice versa. In the US, they talk about the Indian methodology of education, which we were following many, many years ago. So again, global citizenship is available to you easily because you are culturally aware. You understand, there was like, before Nelson Mandela was freed, I remember as a child, we used to always read about, slavery in African countries, and we used to read about how people, how they were really ill-treated there. And it used to make you think, oh, like, you know, and that's not good. We are so blessed. Gratitude or, you know, compassion and empathy for the other person. So again, over here also, you know, when we keep educating ourselves, we become more culturally aware, we are empathetic, we are open-minded, we foster intercultural understanding, and of course, there's global cooperation. Today, when we meet someone who's you know, traveled from overseas and comes to India, we don't have that hitch of, you know, what to talk to them, how to talk to them, what to discuss with them, because we've read about it. We have educated ourselves about a lot of things. And similarly, even when we are going on a holiday to a foreign country, we do so much of reading. So that's again, that's global citizenship, I would say. So in summary, I would say is educating the educated mind is crucial for personal growth, professional success, societal progress. And if we embrace this, we are definitely going to be lifelong learners. We are going to be individuals who will be able to adapt, change, expand our own horizons, and in turn, help others to expand their horizons and make meaningful contributions to the world around us. So that's from my side, Sonal ma'am.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful, wonderful. A lot of insightful takeaways from each one of you. And thank you, Nipul ma'am, for the patience, for the understanding also. And it's a privilege for me to have few people who are always there with me. So over to Veena ma'am for let us hear from her what she has to say. A lot of information she must have gathered now. Book and a paper is seen at a table now. Let us hear from her side. Welcome, Veena ma'am. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, hi everyone. My name is Veena Harvani. I'm a soft skills trainer. I'm a trainer for radio jockey, anchoring, public speaking, spoken English, IELTS, and I'm a passionate singer too. And I'm really proud to be part of Metamorphosis. It's more than 2 years, I guess. Yes, and I'm still hoping to move on with Metamorphosis, like always, with a lot of support from Sonal ma'am, and really proud to be with the 360 degrees Skillathon. So basically, we all have heard about the skills that have been spoken. Sir had spoken about the goal setting. Then we also spoke about, we heard about how to create love for learning. We also, we also heard about noise pollution, which actually really I can resonate, we actually just spoke about the noise outside. What about the inner noise, that makes a lot of noise with our thoughts, with our feelings, with our relationships, So non-verbal pollution, noise pollution is also there, within ourselves and within the people itself. And that actually creates more chaos in relationships and so much further. Actually, I think it would go on and on, So this pollution, because we are always polluted with so many thoughts, because the people that we interact with and so on. We also heard about what exactly is learning from ma'am. Yes, learning is a process, and it is indeed a lifelong process. As a soft skills trainer, I always feel every moment we get to learn. Just the thing is, we need to make our mind like a parachute so that we can absorb all the beautiful information and we can filter the best information, what is meant for us, what is meant for our career, and what is meant for the society as well, because we need to directly, and we are indeed directly or indirectly contributing to the society as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would just, in fact, ladies around, no gentlemen out here today. So, sir was there and he had left early. Yes. So, the topic that I'd been given is inculcation of interpersonal skills. As we all know, we live in a society. So, we need to inculcate loads of skills. Even if we are not willing, unwillingly, we will have to adapt those skills. So why not have those skills, with grace and dignity? So, ladies, the interpersonal skills, what exactly are interpersonal skills? Interpersonal skills is sort of communication that you have to adapt yourself, being in a society, being in a place where you contribute and where you accept the contribution from the society, and where you know where to draw a line. So drawing a line, creating leadership, understanding, being empathetic, being a great listener, being a positive communicator, because there's a lot of negativity. So if you are a positive communicator, people definitely get attracted to you. So in that case, interpersonal skills, I would like to talk about teamwork. As we are at the moment, we are in a team and we are contributing to the society. We are speaking about so many skills that are need of the hour, that can create a progression in each other's life, basically. So that's again a teamwork that has created this beautiful webinar today for all the educators across the globe. So then we talk about, let's say, leadership. Yes, like Sonal ma'am is leading, so many educators around. So leadership is actually really important, but only a leader knows. It's no, it's great to be a reader, but the reading part is not only, it does not just stop with the books or the writing part. She needs to read the people across. She needs to know exactly what do they need, what the society needs, and what is actually the best potential she needs to, she has the you can say the apt quality to get the best out of each and every educator. So that is a leader, who knows कि किस में क्या है, what is the potential and what the society is looking forward to and what the educational industry is looking forward to. Then the next interpersonal quality or the skill is patience. Yes, you need to keep a lot of patience whenever you come into contact with the people across. Take it your work field, take it home. Patience रखना बहुत जरूरी है, इससे पहले कि आप patient बन जाए. So learn to keep patience. I always say that patient ना बने, patience जरूर रखें. And then it's responsibility. Yes. So interpersonal skills also teach you how to be responsible, how to basically take up those small tasks, with the right responsible attitude, and to accomplish it with a complete dedication and, you can say with love and grace, because dedication सब में है, लेकिन थोड़ा सा प्यार अगर add on हो जाता है, it's like cherry on the cake. So yes, and then we talk about motivation. Now, when we talk about motivation, we need to learn that first we also need to be acceptable. We need to accept motivation from others. And then we need to actually produce more motivation, and then generate more and more motivation and spread it out. So motivation is one of the skills that is also part of the interpersonal skills that we need to take and we need to actually generate. Moreover, let's talk about empathy. Yes, now empathy is extremely important. If you're not empathetic, you are not going to learn at all. Even if you're learning, it's just going to be bookish. But if you really want to learn in and out, you need to be empathetic. You need to understand what the other person feels. You need to understand what the other person needs. You need to understand exactly what you need for yourself. Feed yourself first, and then you're good to go with the rest of the people. Moving on to the next interpersonal skill, that is dependability. Now, when we say dependability, doesn't mean that only we are dependent, even people are dependent on us. So it is an independent, sort of society and educational industry. Teachers are probably, dependent on each other for something or the other. We educators are also dependent on each other, as in not physically depending on somebody, but yes, we learn from each other. So that is also a sort of educational, dependence, I would rather say. So moving on to the next interpersonal skill, that is flexibility. Guys, we really need to be flexible. If we are stern with things, then life is going to give you a good stern twist, So just try to be a little flexible, little foldable, little adaptable, and then you're good to go with each and every bit, in your life. And next is, yes, the utmost thing, that is active listening. Don't you think whenever I take up my soft skills training, I always tell my students that Paramatma has given us 2 years, okay? 2 ears and just one mouth, but we do the ulta, we speak more and we listen less. Actually, दो इसीलिए दिए गए हैं कि बरखुरदार थोड़ा गौर से सुनिए और थोड़ा सा कम बोलिए. So you have to listen. ठीक है ना? So we've got 2 ears so that we can listen properly. So we need to be an active listener, and then we need to think and speak. We need to evaluate what is needed. We need to have the right apt time, when it is needed. And when it is not, it's good to really be cool with our relationships with everyone whosoever we are interacting with, maybe be it in the office, be it at home, be it in our society, be it in our friend circle, so you need to know how to zip and then unzip it. Okay, so that's really important. So for that, first of all, you need to make this active. You need to be an active listener. You need to be a positive listener. Isko filter kijiye, jo negativity hai, just let it go out and let the best come in so that you can speak the best. And if you speak the best, your karma is going to be good. And if your karma is going to be good, we are all going to meet once again. So thank you, everyone. These were the real interpersonal skills. I shall have more time next time to elaborate more on this. Thanks very much.
Whatever you have done, you have actually compiled the whole session in one small words. You have actually covered whole skill part का जो है सबके थ्रू से लेके. So I would like to end of the session with वीना मैम ने यहाँ पे सबके बीच में जो एक collaborative effort रहा है, एक collaboration रहा है, that you were here at this time 10 o'clock stuck with me. इसको कहते हैं आपने रिश्तों में चाशनी मिलाई है. This is what makes a human being more authentic, that no matter whatever the circumstances, no matter whatever the challenges, अगर हमने change maker बनना है, forget about Gandhi ji, forget about everyone, we are humans here as our own name. तो हम अगर change maker अपने आप से अगर कर सकते हैं तो definitely change आएगा ही आएगा. So thank you so much, Veena ma'am, and thank you for the abundance of patience today. You joined early and you ended last. That's called आपको salute. Thank you. And does anyone have to earn anything? नाजिया मैम कुछ कहना चाहोगे आप? अच्छे से कोई शायरी?
जी सोनल मैम, सबसे पहले तो थैंक यू इस प्लेटफॉर्म पे मुझे मतलब ऐसे इनवाइट करने के लिए कि आई कैन नॉट से नो in some ways. Your ways are so appreciable that I cannot say no to you. And शायरी रमजान चल रहा है, थोड़ा डिविनिटी की तरफ से कह देती हूँ.
क्या चाहिए? Metamorphosis is about divinity only. Don't worry.
Yes, मोहब्बत है वो. The Almighty has created us with lot of love, and He took 9 months to make us in the womb of our mother. So 9 month की creativity है हम Almighty की. तो अर्ज किया है, सुनिएगा. मोहब्बत है वो, मोहब्बत भांप लेता है, अपने बंदों की दिल की गहराई को नाप लेता है, और इसलिए वो ब्लेस हमें बनाता है बहुत सारी चीजों को लेकर, whether it be our parents, whether it be our family, whether it be our educational journey, or the people around whom we are here now and we meet on this earth is just a blessing of the Almighty. And it's a grateful evening to have all the educators around India and around the world as well, to listen to them and to know that there are many beautiful souls around to appreciate and to acknowledge and to learn with. Thank you.
Thank you so much for such wonderful words. And definitely आप लोगों ने कल रात को फटाफट बोला कि नहीं हमें part लेना है. And 3-4 people came at the last moment. Veena also came, I think, last week. And you all made this session successful, which was in the process from the last, I think, 2 months. I think Sonal है ना, 2 months से ना, 2 महीने से ये था. But no, nobody was able to take out the time from their busy schedules. So वो यही कहते हैं कि अगर आपने कोई चुना होता है तो वो सही वक्त पे सही इंसान को भेजता है. वो हमारे हाथ में नहीं है. तो शायद आप तीनों का, चारों का लास्ट में इंतजार था, तब जाके ये मुकाम हुआ. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. Please mute.
जरूर भाई, जरूर.
Yeah. So before we wind up, and a humble thanks to each one. Neena Singh ma'am, thank you for being a part of this Skillathon Reformation series, and thank you
Pleasure
for
is all
sharing your
mine, ma'am.
knowledge.
Pleasure is
Garima ma'am, thank you so much for connecting me to Neena Singh ma'am, for bringing a change in this process of change makers. And Veena ma'am, आपको तो वैसे ही तहे दिल से है. Nazia ma'am तो always ready है. And my all-time supporter is always ये मेरा bodyguard सोनल सेठ मैम हमेशा रहते हैं. No matter whatever the challenges are, वो शुरू से लेके जब तक मैं बैठी हूँ वो भी तब तक बैठी रहती है. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Hitesha, thank you for being a participant today. And definitely, I would like to hear some words from you also, if you can share.
Yeah, ma'am, it was really a wonderful session, and always Metamorphosis is keeping a fruitful session from which we learn many more things. Actually, today I am hospitalized. From hospital, I am attending the lecture, ma'am.
इसको कहते हैं मेटामॉर्फोसिस. कहीं भी हो, कहाँ भी हो,
Yes,
चलते
that
सफर में अगर मौका है तो
that is the
हाँ. Thank you so much.
spirit which I earned, ma'am, and full seminar I have attended.
You will get well soon, very soon. हमारे best wishes आपके साथ है, सबके साथ है. और wish you a wonderful recovery period. Yeah, thank you so much for being a part of this. So,
my friend, my colleague Shubham Rajmane sir also attended. He came with the tiffin for me, and he also attended the same.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. From behalf of everyone, I express my gratitude to you also, sir. Thank you. So, I'll just wind up with a short information. In today's highly competitive environment, the requisite relevant skills are critical for student success. Recognizing the role of NEP in skill development, the government has introduced an exhaustive framework that integrates skill development across all education levels. From the foundational stage to higher education, the aim of NEP is to equip students with the vital competencies and abilities to thrive in a rapidly growing, challenging world. The role of NEP in skill development is to create a generation of skilled students. Skilled students means, जैसे गरिमा मैम ने कहा है, नीना सिंह मैम ने कहा है, नाजिया मैम ने कहा है, वीना मैम ने कहा है, सबने अपने अपने स्किल्स को लेके आज ये स्किलेथॉन रिफॉर्मेशन सीरीज को एक सक्सेस बनाया. Is to create a generation of skilled students ready to take up challenges and opportunities of the future. Academically, बच्चे पढ़ लेंगे, tuitions, ये वो सब कुछ, but to equip them with the life skills which is absent in the academic journey, which is absent where parents are not able to give time, where we as change makers and we as educated people are trying a level best to create a learning of Skillathon Reformation series. More ahead with all of you. One-to-one session आपके ऊपर आएगा. So be ready for the next journey ahead. Thank you so much. Good night. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Sonal.